Welcome to the Gaelan Trombley Show. You can find me on Facebook at Gaelan Trombley, on Instagram at Gaelan Trombley, and on YouTube at Gaelan Trombley. Spelling GaelanTrombley. Enjoy the show. On episode 57 of the Gaelan Trombley Show, I have Jeremiah Bullfrog Benjamin. We had a very good conversation. We talked a lot about a lot of different topics, some very serious, some more lighthearted. I think you guys will get a lot of enjoyment out of this episode. He's a really cool dude. Again, this is episode 57 of the Gaelan Trombley Show with Bullfrog. Welcome to the Gaelan Trombley Show. Welcome to episode 57 of the Gaelan Trombley Show. My guest today is, I don't think I actually really knew his real name until today.
You didn't. That was funny.
I didn't. I had a quiz, but then it made sense. So I know you've told me the name before, but I always just call you Bullfrog. But it's Jeremiah Bullfrog Benjamin is here. I think he has the, what do they call it? The sultry, I said?
Oh, yeah. Baby.
I said he's got the sultriest voice.
Sultriest. The very white, berry white.
North of Albany, at least. Maybe even south. I don't know. But
very nice of you.
But it's, berry white, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very white, berry white.
Very white.
Yeah, that's what they call me, the very white, berry white. Yeah. Or audible chocolate.
That sounds great, too.
Those are good names.
Those are good. I like that. So
thank you.
So, Bullfrog. I'm going to just call you Bullfrog.
That's perfect. That's what I go by.
Okay, Bullfrog. People that do not know who you are, tell them who you are and your background and how you became 2019 Bullfrog.
All right. Well, Bullfrog came from when I was like 16 years old, and I was working in a kitchen, and some guy I looked up to just happened to walk by me and say, "Excuse me, Bullfrog," and just kept walking like it was nothing. First time I've ever been called Bullfrog in my life. Used to hate the song, because people would sing it to me horribly. So the song was not something I enjoyed. But this dude, I looked up to him. He's one of the coolest people I know. Happened to be a black gentleman. Surprised the shit out of me that he knew the song, you know what I mean? Because that's not where we're from down there. But he walked by and said, "Excuse me, Bullfrog," like it was normal. And it blew my mind, and I just started introducing myself as Bullfrog ever since.
That's it?
That's it, man. That is it.
Like the guy dropped one line on you, and that was it?
That was enough to change everything.
Amazing. Okay.
Small part of a day to him changed my life.
Have you met the guy since? Do you know him?
No, this was back in Virginia. I was raised in Virginia.
So was he working with you, or just like was he a customer or a person at the restaurant?
Another line cook I worked with. We worked at a huge arcade, like beautiful place called Jillian's. Arcade had a bunch of nightclubs, a sports bar, billiards room.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I looked up to this dude. He was a hard worker. He was good at what he did. Cool as hell. And I'm like this little 16-year-old boy looking up to this cool-ass dude.
Were you little?
Oh, I was 16. I mean, I was skinny. I was way skinnier.
But I mean, height-wise, you're probably...
It was still 6'2".
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
My voice was still weird. And imagine my frame. I was 180 back then. All right?
With the same voice.
With the same voice.
Amazing.
And yeah, I was like a big skeleton. It was amazing. It's some scary stuff. So, what some people might know me from, if they haven't met me downtown or shaking hands and kissing babies and stuff, I used to be on a radio station called 107.1 WPLA. It's a Plattsburgh rock station. We had the Ish and Bullfrog morning show. That was pretty successful. A lot of fun. You ever heard of that?
I haven't, no, but I'll ask you about it.
You need to get it together, man. You know what's going on in your town?
A little bit. We'll get into that. We're going to current events.
Yeah, that sounds great. But currently I'm on an awesome station. It's like it plays hits variety of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's WNBZ 106.3. The Z. So that's good fun. I'm on Saturdays from 1 to 3. Have fun with that. I get to build up local businesses, which matters to me the most. That's what I do it for. You writing that down? You want me to just keep going?
No, you keep going. I just take notes. I just take notes for show notes later, just to kind of expand on.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you probably won't remember my name tomorrow, but
I know Bullfrog, the real name, the real
one. Yeah.
We'll make sure Jordan gets it correct in the show notes.
That's all right. I haven't listened to very many of your shows either, but since I got to meet you and how cool you are, I'm gonna be glad to start listening more.
That's good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
You should start off with episode 57.
Yeah, episode 57. I'm going to narrate your life. People always ask me to narrate their lives.
Have you ever? Because you kind of got like the Morgan Freeman style voice.
Very nice of you to say.
Like, have you ever just like sat down and tried to Planet of the Earth or whatever it's called, or
Yeah, like the in a
March
world.
of the Penguins?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I should. I really should. That's how you get better at this. I got to be honest with you. All right, when I told you I was going to come on the show, we were actually going to talk about sadness and my battle with depression and stuff like that, right? And how I'm getting over it and coming through it. Which today has happened to be a real good day for us, buddy. I'm not going to lie. And then I got to hear your last part. What's the name of your podcast you just got done?
Realty Talk.
Realty Talk. That was pretty good. You talked about everything I wanted to talk to you about. So I hope that you listen to that because,
Oh, no, we'll touch on it again.
Yeah, it's got some good stuff on it.
We'll definitely touch on it again.
We won't call it slump busters, though, because that just sounds...
No, breaking the slump.
Breaking the slump.
Busting the slump.
Now you need to get it together. That's not PC at all, sir. Busting the slump. Is this who listens
You can
to
swear.
This? What's your demographic? I can say shit.
You can say fuck.
Oh, damn.
We got E on our thing. We actually, funny story, we might have swore on the first or second one.
Mm-hmm.
I had Matt first, Meg second. Third one was my buddy, and he was about half in the bag when he did
So
it.
you definitely swore.
He dropped 80 F-bombs throughout. At
counted
least.
them?
I didn't, but that might be an over-under. It could be over.
I'm willing to take a bet on that.
So you can say whatever you want. I don't really care.
That's cool. I mean, when I'm on a microphone, it's always better to practice not cussing,
Yeah, that's good. It's
Because
a good habit to be in.
Yeah, when you're on the radio, on FM radio, you can't be dropping F-bombs.
It's frowned upon.
It's frowned upon. That's what the F stands for in FM. Frown.
Frown bomb.
Frown bombs. Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah.
So you lived in Virginia?
Yeah, I was born in Plattsburgh.
Okay.
But as an infant, I was brought down to Virginia.
Okay.
Virginia Beach, Portsmouth area. Lived there for about 25 years or so. Used to be a poker dealer, which is crazy.
Really?
Yeah, Texas and Omaha. And they ended up, it was crazy. I had a lot of weird life jobs, you know what I mean? They wouldn't be usual jobs for someone. But the government ended up shutting that down because the part of Virginia I was in Portsmouth, was the only city allowed to, they had a loophole where they allowed poker, Texas Hold'em, as long as there was a community, of cards like, the flop, the turn, and the river, just like Omaha and Texas, you could do it. So our security was the police department. I got real good close friends with, the FOP down there. I'd have cops outside cleaning out my pistol for me, my handgun, because their laws are way more relaxed than here. But they would be cleaning out my gun while I'm dealing cards, and the money was great, making like $2,000 a week cash. But all that went away, so that's what brought me up here.
So how long did you do that?
About 8 years.
So I'm always curious because you go I don't gamble a lot. I like gambling. Like I'll go. I don't like. I have to play table. It has to be cards or roulette or crap, something like that. But it's got to be a table game. And if I go, I usually play just blackjack. I mean, I know how to play Texas Hold'em. I know how to play Omaha. I'm always impressed at the dealers. You have to think quick.
Oh, yeah.
You have to count quick. And to be honest, you have to, because I find like if you're dealing, I know there's mistakes. You're human. You make mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, you look at a lot of them, they're usually pretty good, but they got to be obviously very professional because you're in an industry that there's a fine line and people get a little crazy with money, sure. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you've seen, pretty extreme cases of people, good or bad.
Right.
So what's it take to become a dealer? Like, what's the training?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, to go to Vegas or something, you probably have to go to school for it. Like in Virginia, I used to work at a bingo hall. Okay, I was a bingo caller for a while. That's one of the I know.
Go figure, right?
Go figure. But I got to call bingo and do stuff like that. By the way, my favorite number is 069.
Hey-o.
The old ladies used to ring the bells and stuff every time I said it. It's fantastic. But and all the poker started in all the bingo halls down there. Okay. So all of them, we started doing it like we ran poker tournaments, and eventually we were able to run this for money and gave out cash prizes and things like that. So we had tournaments and then cash games and stuff. We would take which most casinos do is take a portion out of every pot to pay the house and do jackpots and things like that. So being a poker dealer, like you were saying, you had to be on top of your math. You had to be very courteous and kind. Know whose turn it is at all time. Keep it going when they're talking. Be like, hey, your turn. Pay attention. and know the winning hands and what such. The more you deal, I was dealing probably on average 17 hands every half hour. So if you get $1 to $5 tip, each hand, you think about how much that adds up. You make pretty good money.
How quickly did you have to get on and off the tables? Because they rotate people out. Like, what's the purpose of rotating people out?
Keep it fresh. Keep the dealers fresh. You know what I mean? Because you're going to another table. It keeps everybody fair. Makes the decks, they always bring a new deck with them usually. Some of them leave the deck there. But you're getting in a new face, new appeal. Some people might be losing with one dealer. Somebody might be winning with one. It just depends on what's going on.
So, part of it, I'm assuming, is like shifts, but a lot of times they'll just leave and just go to a different table and just keep dealing?
Yeah.
Because they're probably working an 8-hour shift.
Oh, yeah. It just depends on the situation. I would work like 3-4 days a week, different shifts there. You go to each table for a half hour, and then they would swap you out with somebody else.
Where, time-wise, most casinos are open either 24 or they close for a few hours midnight kind of thing.
Well,
middle of the night.
This is where we were different. It was not a casino. It was a poker room. Actually, it was called the Poker Room. That was one of the places I worked at. So it only had Texas Hold'em and Omaha. That's the only way we can get away with it legally. The problem was a bunch of people from outer state, like Jersey and stuff like that, would come to this small city, Portsmouth, Virginia, and see that we were able to get away with that and do it legally. So they were like, well, I'm going to go ahead and start a business here. And they did that. So it got saturated with a bunch of different poker rooms. And they were like, no, we can't have this. And they shut it all down. And that's when...
Did you ever deal like big tournaments?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like people buy in and you have, last hours or days?
Yeah. I mean, it would last days, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would have them come back. We had $1,000 tournaments. Everybody paid $1,000. They had rebuys, add-ons, all that good stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and it was pretty packed. So
how many tables could you fit in the hall?
I think we had about 20-something for tournaments.
Wow.
And maybe like 6 to 8 cash games.
How many days would that go?
3 to 4 a week. Yeah, we just run them. We did it out of a Shriners Hall for a while. So that was pretty fun.
So you ended up, so you did that, came to Plattsburgh.
Yep. When that was done, I lost that. So I lost, everything at that time. I lost my house. I lost my wife. I lost,
How old were you?
I was, let's see. It was about 9 years ago. I was probably about 25, 26.
Okay. What are you now, 35?
36.
36?
Yeah.
So you were married, had a house at 25.
Oh, yeah. I had it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty nice. My mortgage payment was like $19.50 a month, which is pretty high. But, I mean, it was a huge house. I bought it from my parents, grew up in it, and I can afford that within a week. My wife works great job for Geico, so it was pretty cool. But, I mean, sometimes life will throw you a curveball.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's just how you get back up from it, I'm working on that.
Yeah, so then you moved up here 9 years ago, you said?
About that, yeah. I don't know the math.
Okay,
right?
And then why'd you come back here? Just
probably,
family?
So. I was born here. My family was here. My brother, sister, parents, they were all up here. And I wanted to go, I had to start over. You just lost everything. Where do you go?
So they never lived with you down in Virginia, or they did?
They were down there, but they moved back up here.
Oh, earlier. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, there's a whole bunch of back and forth.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I ended up, they moved back up here when I bought their house, down in Virginia. They moved back up here. So it lasted a few years until they shut that down, and there goes everything, So we had to start over.
And they still live in the area?
They're in Moores Forks.
Moores Forks, there you go. Yeah.
Man.
Know it well. So you moved up here. What'd you do once you moved up here? So you were you said 25, roughly.
Yeah. I got into sales, working at a call center. You know what I mean? So that's where I learned how to, talk on the phone. Everything I've done has led me up to this point and whatever I'm going to be doing in the future. I want to use my voice to build people up, you up. I'd love to build local businesses up. That's what I'm working on. My personality, my demeanor. I want to build relationships with all these people, introduce them to each other, because they have to realize that if you want people to spend money with you, you're going to have to go spend money with them too and go meet them and visit these other local businesses that are trying to do something for themselves as well. It's not just you, it's everybody. And to make it work, we all have to work together. And I know it sounds corny, but how else are you going to?
No, I've talked about it before. I mean, I'm a huge believer in that. I mean, one of my favorite quotes, I have it up on the board, is a rising tide raises all ships.
That's true.
And that's just, it's kind of an old, I forgot where the heck that came from, but basically the idea of, help each other, make everybody better. Yeah. And I really focus on that in the sense that I'm I don't like negativity. And like to me, I always look at it. I'm too busy during the day to focus on negative stuff. I hate negativity. I hate confrontation. I just like to me, it's just everybody like be good, be cool, help each other out. I always talk about be positive vibes kind of thing. Like just not And I know, like you said, if like people, you don't know what's going on in their life. Like you said, depression. Like I didn't know you had depression.
Nobody did.
And it's one of those things but if all of a sudden I'm sitting there and thinking, maybe you're mopey one day, or maybe one day you somehow are rude, and I'm like, man, Bullfrog was a dick.
Kind of an asshole.
And I'm like, but then at the end of the day, I have empathy in the sense that I'm like, I don't know what's going on in his life. I don't know what's going on in his head. I don't know what's going on, and everybody has it. You could have somebody that could like snap at you at something.
Yeah.
Good person snaps at you, and they might have had a bad, maybe a bad phone call, or maybe something happened that was, let's say, ruined their day, but maybe put them in a bad state of mind. So you got to always look at, hey, you got to understand where people are coming from, kind of give them the benefit of the doubt, see what and I've always been good at stepping back to kind of assess the situation from not an emotional, like don't get emotional first and overreact. It's kind of like, wait, they acted kind of abnormal. Why did they act abnormal?
Yeah.
And then kind of give them their time or space or
I will, like me, myself, I'll kind of throw some questions out there to kind of, because maybe they do need to talk about it, and they just don't know how, and they're lashing out, not at you, and just,
if they're a good friend, yeah, for sure.
Even such, I'll do it with you, and we just met, I do give a shit about people, very, very much. It's like a weakness, very empathetic like yourself, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's I guess a weakness in this. It depends. Depends on how you use as a weakness.
If you do it in a way where you let it, overcome.
Yeah, if you become emotionally invested in it, or one where you become a pushover kind of and get taken advantage of. I mean, I'm one where there's a mixture. I'm willing to lend my help, but then you also have to know too when people are abusing that help. Meaning, it's like I'm giving you time, money, or even just conversation or ideas. But, people at the end of the day, too, also have to take care of themselves in the sense that you can help anybody. But at the end of the day, you have to be the last wall of defense to help yourself kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it's tough. I mean, things happen. But I think, no, that's cool. I like that mindset's great. I appreciate you saying that.
No problem, man.
So you moved up here.
Yeah. Well,
25. We did the job, did the voice. We got the
got a whole
call
bunch of
center.
stuff out. Yeah, did that. I started building flight simulators and relocating flight simulators all over the U.S. and Lithuania and different places.
Flight simulators?
Yeah.
Is that the place down here?
Yeah.
Were you part of that company?
Yeah, I worked for them. Landry Simulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. They sent me all over relocating flight simulators.
So when he's like flight simulators, this training
Airlines,
pilots?
Deltas. Yeah, pilots, yeah.
So my question is, it's a pretty cool building. They just redid the whole thing.
Awesome people, man.
Can you just like stop in?
I mean, you can go in and say hi if you want. They're very loving people, man. They actually, some of them are in a church that's right over there above the PMS Motorsports.
Yeah, I heard that's beautiful.
It is, man. Come with me sometime.
Is that where you go?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. And someone, a buddy of mine, Aaron Benner.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, you got to go see this place. It's amazing.
It's very nice.
And he goes, it's beautiful. And I'm like, where is he? He goes, it's literally like the top of the building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do they own it too?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
Because he thought there was a connection between them and...
They're not going to be there much longer. They got a church they're building, I think, on Route 9.
Okay.
They got a church building. They're just there now as a temporary home.
But the Landry Simulation staying there.
That's
because they just redid that place. It looks really
real
nice.
Good.
Like it's probably the most modern. It's you know what it is? I really like when, that's why I love this building.
Mm-hmm.
When you can take like a building and keep the character of the building, but you also put the modern technology, digital, whatever you have to do to the building.
And you haven't peeked your head in there yet. You haven't seen.
I haven't. Well, I've looked in the mirror creepily.
Oh yeah.
Well, I watched the whole thing happen because it's Campus Corners right across the road. Right, so like I go there at least once a week, with different people, and I saw it all the time. I drive by it every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always kind of looking at it. But the building is incredible. They did a fantastic job, at least from the outside. And I've glanced inside. It looks pretty nice too.
You didn't know what they did? Yeah, they do.
No, well, I Googled them, so I kind of know. But I want you're being on the inside. You can probably explain it much better than I.
Yeah, I would just go to different airlines, Delta, or like at Boeing. They had a bunch of different airlines, different
Airbus, Boeing.
Yeah, just different. I can't even say the name of it right now. I got to go to Caleta, and that was in Ypsilanti, Michigan. You know, we took one from we basically go to like Florida, and we'll take a flight simulator and take it apart from Miami. We'll ship it to Phoenix, Arizona, fly out there, and put it back together.
And the whole purpose of this is to train pilots.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The more machines they have, the more pilots they can have work for them.
And how come they're in Plattsburgh?
Why not? You know, this is their home base. They're like a French Canadian company in Montreal.
Yep.
But you know, I'm not sure 100% why. I'm not going to go ahead and speculate. But
yeah,
they got a lot of family here.
But they originally came from Montreal.
The main owner, yeah, I think he's been here too.
That makes sense because we have a lot of actually. I was at this was back earlier in the year. Gary Douglas was speaking, and he said that I think the numbers is 11% of companies down here are Canadian owned.
I believe that.
Something like that, or maybe it might have been even higher. And part of it is a lot of the times they come down here and it makes sense for them to have a U.S. address for a lot of business.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So really, I mean, Plattsburgh is the first like major city or biggest place that you'd have something.
Right.
Champlain a little bit, but
that's why a lot of these companies are here. You know, bringing some jobs and
it's great. I'm hoping that's one of my biggest things is. I mean, I talk about this all the time, but like. The view out here, we're looking down at the waterfront. I mean, to me, this is the most prime real estate in all of Clinton County, basically Northeast New York. So I can't wait till this thing actually gets fully. It will at times, or in a time, will be fully developed. And I would love to see it turn into like a Church Street, pedestrian walkways,
for sure.
Where people can go. They have like a little boardwalk. They have maybe a little pier, and people can kind of go out, do their thing, and hang out, and just really enjoy the waterfront. Because that's one thing I think we're missing is I love downtown. I think downtown's great. But, downtown's a half mile from our best real estate. You know what I mean? So to me, this is like one of the reasons I wanted this office is literally I have like a firsthand look at what will be in the future. I don't know. It's kind of a cheesy thing, but it's like my long-term vision, like with this area getting like way better. I mean, I love it now, but, kind of working towards improving it. Right. But I think looking out there is such a cool... Just something to look forward to in the future, kind of like what you're working towards, and maybe put your put your own efforts in with amongst a ton of other people to make it happen.
Right,
so,
and that's what you need to do. You need a community. We need to be a community.
Exactly.
I mean, I know a lot of good people, of good people in this town, and I mean the numbers, up there, and I love them. I want to do things for them. I want to help them grow. And because they're going to help me do the same,
Do you think one of my main long term goals? So I'm turning 30 next month.
Next month? Well, hold on. What day?
December 24th.
Ooh, mine's December 14th.
Is it? Mm-hmm. You're
a little bit older.
A little bit. What's your zodiac thing?
A Sagittarius.
Yeah, because I'm Capricorn. Because it splits right about the 2021st.
Boo. You would have been so much cooler if
a week earlier, right? Yeah. So, but the idea is. Like one of my long-term goals that we're probably talking like 50 years. Like I'm hoping modern medicine, we're probably living to 120. You know what I mean?
Well, so I hope you do. I'm ready to go a little bit sooner than that. Jesus.
But the whole idea is that, I have 50, 60 more like really good years to just like ball out. And one of my things is I really hope that I think there's a lot of people in Plattsburgh that really give a shit about Plattsburgh, which is more so than major cities. Because I find and maybe I'm wrong, but I think major cities, a lot of them, when they're already established, they have the infrastructure and they have the resources. And I don't think people really get that scrappy, we want to grow kind of feeling when you're already in a spot that's kind of like that.
Right.
I think you look at the mid-major cities and the lower levels or the very small micro cities that are... I think a lot of those people have much more, I say passion or much more, like a local ties to, like you grew up here or whatever.
Right.
And for me, I have 2 young kids. So like I'm looking at it as how do we, leave it better for that generation.
Right.
And I really think like our generation can do a lot in this area, but I think there's a lot of people that really, like I said, give a shit and want to make the place better, not just come here, live and leave. It's more like, I want to come here, really put a stake in the ground saying I got it from here to here, and that was a huge jump forward where now we hopefully in the future like the next generation our kids can grab that baton and keep running with it.
Well, in my opinion, and the only way to do that, in my opinion, is to build on our community. I mean, it can't just be about you. It takes a village. As corny as that sounds, we are a village of good people. Not everybody's good, but there's enough of us.
Yeah,
and we need to work together to make this happen for our kids, your kids.
Well, Boyer Benner Group. I talked about Aaron before. I mean, his slogan of it's a slogan of the company. It says it takes a group. That's like their motto.
Right.
But I mean, that it's bigger than just their office. I mean, they takes a group, and they're very community centric too. And one of the things we've basically trademarked over the last year is local matters, in the sense that
I know, I love that.
And I mean, we have it up on the board and stuff, and it's just one of those ideas like, how do we, really try to support our local community and try to help each other out and try to have, whether again be financially, time, resources, just anything that you can to help your neighbor out to make the place better or make our area better. And I really think, because our big thing is like buying a home builds our community. I mean, if you're buying something in our area, you're investing in our area.
Right.
So that's kind of the cool thing about that. So,
well, this is what I want to do for people. I mean, you've mentioned my voice before.
Yeah.
I'm starting to become more appreciative of my voice. Like, you'd be surprised to know, not too long ago, I didn't really care for it. Not at all.
I was going to say, did you ever have a negative connotation with your voice? You did.
Or
like self.
You hate the sound of your voice on recording?
I've gotten
sometimes?
so used to it.
Right.
I'm good. I've gotten used to it. But I think
Before.
But did you ever have a point, because you have such a distinct voice that some people they look at it as a deterrent or a negative, where you might just say, I hate it. Like people define me for my voice, and I don't like that.
I used to not like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, that happens with anybody, whoever you're looked at. But I also have a lot more to offer. I got a big heart. I got big shoulders. If you got problems, I'm the guy to talk to. You know what I mean? And your business doesn't go anywhere. I don't run my mouth. I got a very good reputation. Ask about me. You just met me. You just found out. But go ahead and ask. You're like, what do you think of Bullfrog? Maybe not everybody's going to have
I've only heard good things about you.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and then, honest to God, I've heard really good things about you.
A lot of people tell me that.
Yeah.
And that means a world to me. And the funny thing is, I don't care what people think, but I'm very happy that they can trust and understand. I do care.
Yeah.
I want the best. But, so this is what I wanted to get out there. If you have any projects that you want to do, and this goes to everybody listening, if you got a project you want to do, whether it be a cartoon, a movie, narration, song, whatever you want me to talk about you and what you're doing, I would love to do that. I want to put my voice out there as much as I can to grow that, so I can start making some money, so I can bring that money back to the community and use my voice to build up different businesses around here, bring that energy in, and let everybody feel like we're about to do this together. Make some videos, have fun with it, take some pride in what we're doing together. I'm going to treat it as it's my business too. That's how much I care.
Have you ever thought, I think this would be funny, have you ever thought about doing like a kind of like a comedy or a sketch where you do something with a voivoiceover?
Would you do that
like,
with me?
Like a local, I think it'd be fun.
Would you do it with me?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go.
Like if you do something with, I've gotten more into like, I'm not like a filmmaker or anything, but
Sure.
I appreciate film more. So, because I've really kind of dove, it's kind of a hobby of mine. I really like to like look at film and photography and stuff, but more so film.
You've been doing it often lately?
Not, I mean, I wish I could. To be honest, I have like the camera setups and stuff, and we do a lot with the business. I would like to, like, I really think I would have a blast shooting movies and editing them and just kind of trying to be creative. Problem is, again, it's time.
It's another venture.
It's another venture. Right now, I don't prioritize that, that's not as high on my list that I want to prioritize it. It'd be like a hobby.
Okay.
But granted, it's like anything else. Like you were here before. I was talking to Ellie about going back to the gym.
Make sure you listen to that show, by the way.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
I liked it.
But the whole idea for that is I prioritize going back to the gym because I wanted to reprioritize my health.
I need to do that myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody has their own thing, and I think like for me, that would be a hobby. I want to get more into woodworking. I have a wood shop at my house, and I have all the tools and stuff.
CNC machine?
Huh?
Do you have a CNC machine?
See, I don't even know what that is.
We'll get you.
I'm so like raw when it comes to that. Like
Right.
I don't know everything. I'm learning on stuff, but my whole idea is there's a lot of things I would like to do, but again, my three priorities in life basically is family, my health, and then my company.
Right.
So those are the three things that really take a precedence over me having fun with, and I've punted a lot of things that I like doing just because it doesn't fit in my top three things in my life.
Sure.
So
there's going to be a time when those your priorities, not your top two, but
But they those three will always be part of my life, but
they should be,
but they'll rotate, and things will be different. My kids will get older at a certain point, and they won't rely on me as they will, but they won't rely on me as much as they do as
right now.
2 under 2.
Right,
That's they rely on everything for me. But
everything.
When they're teenagers, yes, they cars and stuff, but they're self-functioning, and I can now maybe take some free time to do some other stuff. Where now it's like making sure I can get them ready for bed or a bath, or even just like sitting there hanging out with them and playing with them. So
well, once you do start getting some free time, and you take time. If you ever want some help with anything, I'd love to be a part of it.
I think but I really think we should do something funny with the community. I don't know, like a little skit.
I'm ready.
Like I think it would be fun that we just brainstorm something, and whether you be I think I would just think naturally you would be like a narrator on it.
I could do that.
And just narrate the scene and really do it. I don't know. I just think it would be fun.
A sex scene?
We could. I mean, we could do whatever.
That's getting weird. My fault.
I
made it weird.
It's getting a little steamy in here, but
that's the coffee.
That's it. No, but I think it would be fun. I like people that are creative, and I value people thinking outside the box and putting themselves out there in whatever regard that might be.
Right.
For me, I'm on video. People see me all the time on camera and video, and I've gotten to the point where it doesn't. I mean, you saw how we started both podcasts. I was like,
sure.
Ready to go? Let's do it.
All right.
There's no prep.
Got a topic? No topic? Fine.
Let's roll.
Run it.
And I think a lot of it is just off the cuff, because I find that I like people being more authentic and real versus being staged.
Mm-hmm.
God, I would say 95 to 99% of what I talk about in all my videos, there's no prep work before.
Right.
And it's really off the cuff.
See, being in radio, you know what I mean? Like being live on radio, that's off the cuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can prepare it a little bit, but it's basically you just doing your own thing. And I'm not the normal radio personality. This is how I talk. I don't do all the radio voices, and people are real good at it, but not so much me.
So what was the morning show?
For the other station?
The one you did before, yeah.
It was just the Ish and Bullfrog morning show. I had my buddy Zombie Jay with me. He did like the fake.
He was Ish?
A fake. No. Ish was the owner.
Okay.
Aaron Ishmael. He owned that station, the Moose, and WPLB.
Is that the one on Clinton Street?
It was.
Okay.
Now that's a CBD shop. It's actually called the CBD shop.
Yep, gotcha.
Great people, by the way.
Okay. With the CBD shop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in our old spot, so I had to go check them out, and they gave me some of their honey.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There you go.
It was great.
Now, have you been doing CBD a lot?
More THC than CBD, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I've never taken any of it, but obviously I know that's now a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously find a difference.
It does. Oh, yeah, definitely. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
You could feel the difference. I've heard stories,
Yeah, some people swear by what was it?
Legit.
THA you said?
No, THC is marijuana.
THC.
Yeah, that's.
See, I don't know none of this stuff.
That's the psychoactive thing in marijuana. CBD is basically gives you all the benefits. All right, which are very high if you look into it.
I've heard very good science on it.
Yeah, but it doesn't give you the psychological buzz, the high. Mm-hmm. So you can stay clear-minded, get some stuff done, and your aches and pains, your anxiety, it helps with all those things, and it helps me out a lot too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's pretty fun. I know you don't take none of that stuff, and if you don't need it, don't take it.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm one that I've always been for the longest time. God, I remember. I've never smoked weed in my life. I just never have. Never been interested in it. The only thing I've ever smoked in my life are cigars. I love cigars.
Yeah.
And I have them sporadically, meaning I have them at weddings.
Right.
In the summer, I'll have we go to, over 4th of July weekend. I'll have 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Over a few nights, and I like it. For me, it's a relaxation. Hang out with some buddies,
you
smoke a cigar,
cool, dip it in some.
I mean, it's just around the campfire, relaxing, tasting it, having a drink and hanging out and just kind of just making fun of each other and having a good time. But
never been interested in trying to smoke a blunt instead of a cigar. Huh?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, never. I've never actually. I'm just one. I'm not very big into any kind of substances, but the CBD for me, even since high school, I was always like, why just legalize it? Why not?
Right.
What's it matter? And I get people are like, well, if you legalize this, it's a slippery slope. I'm like, to me, a marijuana is compared to heroin, they're night and day. What do you just you're talking? I mean, cocaine, heroin. I mean, any of these drugs that you see out, that people are taking. To me, marijuana. I haven't seen anybody that's ever smoked marijuana that's been a bad Like, if anything, I think it would be lesser.
So let me explain my beliefs on it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it because I'm not as educated on it.
Well, all right. So I'm going to not preach to you by any means or talk too much about God and stuff like that. But I'm a religious guy, but I don't follow any specific religion. Okay. I've been through slumps. I've been depressed, all that good stuff. But I've also always had my times where I try to make other people shine. That's when I've been the most happy. Is when I'm build up other people. Well, recently, while I was smoking, that actually helped me have a good night where I became real close with God, right? So I think I'm supposed to here in the very nearest future is start my own church type thing, right? Where it's not necessary, it's not required, but it's definitely going to be, hopefully people will take some kind of edible or smoke something beforehand. Because I want to give them weed's not a drug. Pot's not a drug, all right? It comes out of the ground. It comes out like that. You don't have to do nothing to it. There's no chemicals you got to put in it. If you do that, you're just messing it up. It comes from the planet. And what it does is it really soothes you. It helps you get your thoughts in order. It helps you take a second to step back from all this chaos that might be going in your mind, all the bad feelings that you have on a normal basis. It helps you get away from that for a little bit, makes you stronger and more able to deal with something. That works for me. Now, maybe not for you. Everybody's going to be different, but I want to, give people the opportunity to all feel included. My church, I'm going to talk about just a little bit more, but it's only going to have people that have love. Nobody's going to be extrasized. Nobody's left out. You can be gay, straight. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? You don't even have to follow my religion to come and talk and sit down and, listen to what I have to say. I'm going to listen to you too. I want it to just be a feeling of love for everyone. As cliche and weird as that sounds, that's what I need. I think we all need that. So that's what it's brought to me, that what it means to me. CBD is along the same lines without the head buzz that you get, but it makes you feel good. It makes you mellow. It helps you deal with what's going on in your day-to-day life. So that's why I enjoy it. But, it's not for everyone. I'm not going to tell you to go do it. That's up to you. If you're getting along fine without it, then don't. But when people call it a drug, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I mean, again, I don't know enough about it. I've never seen, it's kind of one of those, like they always, and I don't know the side effects or anything like that, but like you talk about people with like drinking, like to me, there's more that can go wrong with you drinking than smoking. And I mean, and I don't think you should legalize or, make illegal alcohol, criminalize whatever. Yeah, alcohol. I mean, it is what it is. I think
tried that before.
Yeah, I know.
It didn't work out for them.
It's like the biggest reverse in history. Yeah. But it's one of those deals. Like I think everything that people do is like you can abuse anything.
Right.
I mean, you can abuse absolutely everything in life.
You're less likely to abuse other people when you smoke marijuana.
Yeah, and I've never had anybody that's ever smoked marijuana that I'm like, God, I'm scared of them.
Yeah, man, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Was he going to beat me up? Why does he want to fight all the time?
I mean, go to any bar at Plattsburgh at 2 a.m. There's someone that's looking for a fight, and it's because they've been drinking, not because they've been smoking. And anything, and just in general, it's like.
So you drink?
Yeah, I drink. I
right.
Like I don't drink a lot. I mean, it's not like I'm sitting there like.
Is it that you haven't tried smoking because of the way it's looked upon? It's illegal. First of all,
I honestly think I never. When I grew up, none of my friends really smoked weed. I mean, yes, did some of them smoke? Sure. I mean, but
not your real friends.
I mean, but they were. I mean, buddies of mine. I've had friends that smoked. I mean, I don't. If somebody smokes weed, I don't look down on them like, oh my God, like I don't care. I could care less. For me, it was that. I guess the other thing too is I don't really need anything from like. People are different. Luckily, I've never really had any like depression or
awesome.
anxiety.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, any anxiety. This is something that.
Is it hard for you to understand what people might be going through that's dealing with that?
No, I can understand that. One of the great things, one of the things that I really am lucky, I have a very good headspace, and a lot of it is I have a very good headspace in the way that I think about myself. I have a good headspace in the way I think about others. I'm a very,
I'd love to learn that type of shit from you because my headspace when it came to me was very difficult to deal with.
I think you got to look at a couple things. Like one, from another standpoint of other people,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody thinks, which is tough for people to say. Like some people have a hard time with that. And when you're younger, I think my give a shit factor has gone away very fast. Like very quickly over my 20s went away. And yes, is there people that I might that could affect me if they have a negative thought about me potentially?
Mm-hmm.
Like it would be mostly really close friends or family. But even that, at the end of the day, I always look at myself as if somebody has a negative thought or something about me, that's on them.
Right.
And I always look at, and this is something I've gone back to a lot. My dad told me when I got into real estate kind of grew up, like if you can go to bed at night knowing you did the right thing or knowing you did everything with the right intent, then you're good. Like you could screw up, but if you did it with the right intent, then as long as you're not feeling guilty going to bed, then you're fine. And I've never had that. And one of the things,
That's
if somebody
impressed.
But if somebody was like pissed off at me, and I'm like, well, I did nothing wrong to upset them, or if they're upset about that, then I'm fine with them being upset about that because it wasn't meant to, or whatever. I've always found that I've been good at that. And then we were talking about before. I mean, if I do something, or there's times I've maybe been in a rut or something's happened, I don't beat myself up over it. I just kind of, it's just one where I'm human. I make flaws. I'm always trying to get better. But I know I make mistakes every day.
Yeah.
There's times like it could be as simple as you were supposed to get this and this done this morning and you didn't do it. You were lazy or you put it off or you procrastinated. And then I'm like, you know what? You should have did that. But I don't get mad at myself. I'm like, you know what? It's water under the bridge. You didn't do it. Mm-hmm. From like now it's 9:30 in the morning. Get better from 9:30 on the rest of the day.
Great mentality.
But it's not. And I know people struggle with mental stuff, so it's not something where I'm like I ever look at someone that struggles with mental stuff and been like, I don't understand why they can't. But
it's good that you have some empathy. Me, like if I'll have waves of depression, okay, and especially this time of year, like seasonal depression. On top of the fact that you're already depressed, you don't look at yourself very highly, even though you're a decent person. Everyone tells you you're a good person. They all like you, but for some reason you're your own worst critic. You can't stand yourself. You'll have a wave where you don't want to get out of bed for like weeks at a time, dude. Like you can't imagine that because you haven't been there yet. But I like that you're empathetic towards, because what you were saying on your other podcast was very similar. But just think about it spread out over longer durations of being down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's what people deal with. And they won't ask for help. You won't even know that they're dealing with this because they'll shut the world off so that they don't have to infect other people with their feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you check on your friends that you might not hear, that might not be around, that might not be outside. Check on them. Just say, you're all right. They might not be. They'll probably tell you, yes, they're fine, but it'll definitely help if you checked up on them.
So you think, so I guess and again, this is something I've never, I'm empathetic to it, but I don't understand it firsthand. I've never had it. And
I'm glad for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's something, because I know it's become more of a cultural thing. I say cultural thing, but it's been more in the limelight over the last few years because rightly so for things that happen in our world. Sure. But it's the idea that I've always been very lucky that I haven't had to have that. I know I guarantee there's people in my life that have had that.
We all have
we
our
were just
own
talking,
story,
like Ellie was just talking about it. And I know Ellie fairly well now in the sense that I see her often enough that if there was something that I felt that was wrong with her, I would have said something.
Yeah. You might be surprised that you don't
actually, it was
notice.
kind of funny. I didn't say it during her podcast. Mm-hmm. There was a couple things that were odd about her, not in a bad way, but there was some
She
things.
didn't seem that odd. I don't know why you would say that about her.
Yeah, but I'm saying there was some things that were different and she had mentioned probably about a month or so, and there was a couple things that happened or that was like, that's a little different. She's not usually like that,
right.
or she would be more apt to do this or that, and just some really weird things. And then, but again, not knowing that maybe she wasn't kind of like a slump kind of thing.
Exactly.
But of course, I noticed it, but it was one that maybe I should have said something, been like, hey, is anything, you kind of seem, like I had a good friend the other day and she was kind of having a rough week. This is a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And I literally was just like, you okay? Like everything good? And it's just, and again, it was a couple just bad, they say bad days, but just a couple down days that just kind of, and people have that. People have a little bit of a slump, whether it be a couple hours, a couple minutes, couple days, could be weeks, could be months, years.
Yeah.
And hers happened to be a couple days, and it was just kind of one of those weeks where she was just like, you know what, it's just tough, and I'm just kind of glad it's the weekend. I can kind of cut out of work for a couple days and kind of recheck, and maybe that's, hey, binge watching TV and having ice cream and hanging out and getting takeout and doing something that makes you just feel, just kind of turning the world off a little bit and just relaxing and not having to think much, and having some comfort food or comfort, sitting in your pajamas all day or sweatpants. Like
mine's video games.
Everybody has an escapism, and I think that's good for people. I mean, to be honest, one of my escapisms when things get going too quickly, or I find that I'm overwhelmed with stuff, there's days I don't even want to look at my phone anymore because it's just like constantly just people asking, which is good. I mean,
I'll let my phone die sometimes.
Well, and part of it's the bet I made because of my business, and with building my business up, I'm totally fine with that stuff coming in. But there's days I get overwhelmed with it. I'm like, you know what? I have to take even a half hour. I just got to shut the phone off, or, and some of the times it might just be, simple as yard work, or it could be just doing projects around the house or mowing the lawn where I totally shut everything off and just that's what I want to do. And sometimes for me, luckily it could be as simple as like an hour reset. I just hit a quick reset and I'm back.
I would love that. I would love like a half hour, even a day for me would be kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But bouncing back out of it, like today just happened to be a good day. Yesterday, I did not feel very good. I'm not going to lie. But this morning I woke up, I was like, hey, I got to do a show with Gaelan. This is going to be fun.
Were you looking forward to it?
I was, dude.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I was like,
I actually was too. And like I said,
we don't know each other, but every time I've seen you, it's been legit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one. Well, I've had people I've never even. The cool thing about the podcast, a few times there's people that have walked in here I have not even talked to in my life, and I have them on the podcast just because they've been a recommendation or whatever.
That's cool.
There's some people that I've had my childhood friends of 20 years on the show. I've had really good friends. Then I have people like you that I see out in the community. I talk to you here and there at events, and we shoot the shit for a few minutes. And
you want to come on my show? So? What made you want me on your show? I'm just curious. You didn't even know who I was. So.
A little bit, and of course, people have talked about you, and I see you in the community, and that's cool. There's just a lot of the only theme I have on the show is people that I want to talk to. That's the only theme.
Well,
people are like,
I'm glad to be a part of that.
Yeah, well, people always ask is it geared around real estate or Realty Talk 100% is geared around real estate.
Yeah.
Because I love real estate and I don't want to bore people on this by talking about real estate the whole time. So we did a smaller show dedicated to real estate. I can scratch that itch. I can talk about it. But at the end of the day, this longer form podcast, it's literally people who I just find interesting or want to talk to, or I shoot the shit with at a couple times, like you at different events. I'm like, he's a pretty cool dude every time I talk to him.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was literally the only connection. Is I just thought you were a good dude. And
thanks, man.
And a couple last night we were at ADKYP, and I probably got I'm gonna have probably 3 podcasts just out of last night, just being like, hey, why don't you come on? Kid yesterday, really good dude, had breakfast with him, and I'm like, you'd be great, you should come on the podcast. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. So I think a lot of it's just people that I like talking to, but also think about this. How many times in your day to day can you sit down with somebody without distraction and have a conversation?
Right. That's a real good question.
Well, the funny thing about podcasting is it's newer. It's definitely more popular now, but it's as simple as you can get in human interaction. People have been talking, having conversations for thousands of years. And now instead of going from it's nice to strip down all the chaos and the clutter and the noise around us.
Right.
And yes, we're on mics and there's technology stuff.
But you ignore this shit.
But you ignore it. And I've been doing this long enough now that all this stuff, the only reason I move stuff is because I shift to my seat and I don't get hit in the face by the mic. But most of it is I don't even pay attention to it. It's just kind of let the thoughts flow. And it's really cool because I've talked about this before too, is I use the analogy of, for me, driving to Albany. And we've all done it. We've all done it multiple times. You get in the car, you drive to Albany. This happens every time. I get out of Plattsburgh. I finally, maybe stop and get a coffee. All of a sudden, I get through Plattsburgh. I go through Peru. And then I kind of get to the point where I hit Au Sable and I'm working my way towards Willsboro.
Right.
Then it's like I'm kind of out of Clinton County. Now I'm kind of going into the Adirondacks. And then you go through the span. And if I'm solo, what happens? If I'm by myself, I would say roughly about exit 34, 33 when you start getting to Willsboro to probably, 20, maybe once you hit kind of the Glens Falls area. Yeah. You're going through the Adirondacks, 2 lanes of traffic, or 2 lanes, no traffic, you and your thoughts, radio, podcast, whatever you want to listen to. And people, what do? They daydream, they daze, they have this conversation and thoughts come to their head more clearly because they're in a state of whatever that state is, but you don't have the clutteredness.
That's my phone helps me with.
Yeah, exactly. And the phone doesn't work in the mountains, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah.
And if I'm with somebody, so now we take you and I in this scenario. If we're driving down to Albany, this could be my spouse, this could be my friends, this could be just a work acquaintance, whatever it might be, is you go down and all of a sudden you kind of do the small talk and you kind of, turn the radio on, and all of a sudden you kind of get into that travel groove where I usually look at it as you're probably about 40 minutes into 40 minutes into the trip. You start chit-chatting, and then probably an hour and a half into the trip, the thoughts get a little deeper, the conversation gets a little more deeper. Maybe your thoughts are a little more clearer than they were when you first left because the distractions have been stripped down.
Yep.
And you allow your mind basically to kind of, not get all the crazy thoughts out of your head and all the jumbledness. And now I just have basically 2.5 hours to drive.
Right.
And now you're having a conversation. And what happens is that conversation gets, I think, really deep and thoughtful until you hit your destination. I look at that as a podcast. That's why people ask, well, why are your podcasts so long? I could stop it right now. We're at 49 minutes. I could stop it right now. But then what happens is you start to get into a flow. And I find my second parts of the podcast are way better than the first.
Because you're comfortable.
Well, me and you are feeling it out. We're, how is this going to go down? I'm asking you questions, getting your,
I think
background.
it's going well.
It's going very well, yes. But it's the idea that we're working. It's kind of like you're feeling each other and working into a situation where, you're getting into a groove and a true conversation.
Right.
And I find you don't get that unless you do a longer form podcast.
Yeah.
Like a true 2-3 hour podcast.
Who are these people complaining about the longness?
Well, I mean, just in general, like people have asked me, like, "Wow, you go that long?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't like an hour podcast. I don't like an hour podcast right now. We're ready to start winding this down.
True, yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, I find that we're just starting to ramp it up. So why ramp it up and all of a sudden just cut it off at the knees and we're done?
Yeah.
So I always think for me personally, an hour is too short. I think a half hour. Me and Ellie do realty talk, but we do just kind of a quick. We don't really go deep. We just kind of hit stuff really fast, is what we think.
Yeah, I was
we,
here.
Yeah, we go deep for a few minutes and then boom, we're good. But I find here is you really get the true essence of somebody when you get a chance to let them talk and hear their thoughts. And so that's kind of the idea of the podcast. But I wanted you on for many different reasons. But obviously now I'm just, as we're kind of getting going here. So for you, I want to go. We talked a little bit about the voice thing, but what do you like about radio?
I mean, the fact that I'm at this station, WNBZ, these people, Amanda, Bill, John, Rick, they're all really good people. I mean, it's like a family there. What I get to do is it feels like you're selling air, like, you know what I mean? Advertising, all right? That's not what we do. We don't just sell advertising. We put ourselves into getting to know you. That's what I want to do. I don't want just to have clients and just take your money and play some commercials. I want to be invited into your business, see what you do. I'll even work there a day or something. You know what I mean? I want to get the essence of you. So when I talk about you, when I'm out there doing, because I'm not just going to put you on the radio. I want to talk about your business all the time. Whenever it seems applicable, I want to be able to bring it up. I want to have some conviction, some real feeling behind what I'm saying about you and what you do and who you are. So that way there, I believe in it. People are going to believe that I believe. I got one of those voices people listen to when I talk. I got blessed with that, And like you said, before it was something, I'm just a voice type guy. But there's a lot more behind it. The voice is just, sexy.
that very berry.
The very berry. The very white, berry white. But, and as many people as I can bring with me that get to feel that, because I want to bring those people together with other people that they might, different businesses, local businesses, might be able to get some advantage from working with somebody they didn't know was out there. A lot of people don't know these businesses are there, even though they're, been there for a couple of years now, where you haven't even heard of them.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
So, one thing I wanted to ask you and kind of go down through, we talked about, poker and all that. And you guys obviously are radio station. So what kind of music? What's your music
taste? This one?
what do you play and what do you like?
Well, we'll play some 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s variety hit music. You know what I mean? My music, I do like to play some very white, Barry White. You know what I mean? Some Otis Redding, Marvin Gaye. I like those type of the Commodores. That's my thing. You know what I mean? With this type of music.
Like that's actual music you like listening to.
Yeah, well, now that I'm with this station, it's made me have a new appreciation for stuff I used to listen to. Like I can keep this on forever. I like to take requests on Saturdays from 1 to 3. Make sure you check it out.
Okay.
I got my little show there.
We call in?
Yeah, well, actually, you don't have to call in. You can just message me on the Facebook. And I'll shout your name out and say, this is for you,
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You don't have to worry about calling or hearing your voice. But if you want to, we can try to figure that out.
Call-in show. I'd call in.
Yeah, I don't know if we're set up for that yet because we don't have like a delay. So if somebody starts cussing, we can't just start.
No, I'd have to say I'm pretty good. Depends on this. I'm good on the situation. But but this is like I always look at this as my show, so we can do whatever we want. So
right. A lot of people get nervous, and so did I. Do you ever call into a radio station before? You've never called into one?
No.
Why not?
Caller number 97? No.
You've never called, like, just to request a song even? Wow.
We did one time on, we were on the bus for, I think it was soccer, maybe. We called like WOKO or something.
Yeah.
It was like the Crying, Lovin' or Leave It show, or Crying, Lovin' or Leaving show.
Was it you calling? Or
no, it was somebody on the team.
Right. Now, that person, did they seem nervous when they were about to be talking to a
God,
radio person?
To be honest, I don't even remember. I don't even remember who called. I don't think so. My guess is probably not. I have an idea of who I think called.
Yeah.
It's been 13 years probably since this happened.
Right, yeah.
12, 13 years.
It's funny when like back in the day when I was younger, I'd call on a radio station pretty often actually and be just nervous as hell just to talk to these people that are just normal people like you and me. But you know they're on the radio. I'm about to be possibly on the radio for other people to hear. You know, live right now. The feeling of it is crazy. That's what people get when they call in. You know, and I have to remember that because now it's like my job. I'm on the radio, I talk, but when you first start up, it's nerve-wracking. You got thousands of people listening to you live.
Well, the other thing too is when they hear your voice, it's like almost larger than life kind of phenomenon.
That. Yeah.
Wait, but in the sense that it'd be like seeing anybody. Like take it was kind of funny. Like so, Tom Messner. Everybody knows who Tom is. He's been around forever. Like I saw Tom walked in the other day, Starbucks, sat down next to me. He was with somebody and he was talking, and all of a sudden we started shooting the shit about his computer and the cable and him powering because the power outlet was behind my chair. And, like normal dude, but like you look at him, you're like, I know who he is. He doesn't know who I am, but it's kind of one of those things. Again, somebody you see, so he's kind of semi larger than life and a normal, famous. Yeah, like locally famous. So, but I find if someone's calling in on the radio station, like, oh my god, I hear this guy's voice all the time. Right. Now I'm calling in and he's actually talking to me. Yeah. It's almost like a trip because like I'm talking, he's talking back to me. It's like, whoa, this is weird.
Yeah, I'll walk by like. I used to not talk when I walked by, you know, sometimes just so, you know, people weren't weirded out by it. It was just a weird thing I had. Now I make it a point to be okay with my voice, talk a little bit more. You should see people's heads whip around when they hear it. They're like, what the fuck just happened, you know? And like, there's two guys the other night, just the other night. I can hear them go, is that him? It sounds like him. That's him, isn't it? Yeah, and they had another guy come up to me and ask me, were you on the radio? I'm like, yeah, I'm Bullfrog. They were like, I knew it. Like, that type of shit's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's cool.
I would go to Vermont, and, you know, I've never really spent a lot of time in Vermont, but our radio station was hot out there. And they would come up to me, and they were like, I did not know you were going to be a white guy. Like, it really messes them up.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
When we opened a station in Knoxville, they did the same thing.
So you were down in Knoxville too?
Yeah. We started a station, WVLZ in Knoxville. I went there to help build a studio.
Oh wow!
And then
like recently?
Yeah, this was a couple months. I've only been in radio since last year for a few months.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. People have told me I'm supposed to do it. You know, so I was like, all right, well, let me give it a shot and see what happens.
So because people, the two things I find when people talk on here, one is they get nervous because they're talking and they're hearing like they're like, well. Like I'm just talking, but they get in their heads like other people are going to hear this.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I know other people are going to hear this. I don't care because I've been doing it long enough now that I've kind of gotten over the fact that I'm trying. When I first got on, if you go to the first few episodes, I think I'm on there. I'm aware that people are listening, and I was kind of like.
Do you hear your voice quivering a little bit? No. Yeah. No.
Now or then?
Then.
I don't know if it was quivering. I think maybe quivering in my head kind of thing. If you play it back, I don't sound bad. Like I don't sound like I'm quivering.
But you could feel it.
A little bit in the sense that like. One was I don't know how the show's going to go. I hadn't been like in a cadence yet where I'm like, okay, I get the feel for the show.
Rhythm.
Yeah, and it was all new. I didn't even have a title. Granted, I came up with a super creative Gaelan Trombley show name. So
dude, like, where did that come from? You pulled that out of your ass.
Amazing, yeah. And the first like 4 or 5 episodes, I'm like, we don't have the podcast named yet because I hadn't released. I think I did 6 episodes before I released them, or maybe whatever it was. I had 6 already in the pipeline. So with that whole thing, I mean, it was the idea that. I got over that pretty quick. Like now I don't even think about it. Like I know people are going to hear this, but really it's like me and you talking. And then I put it out and then people hear about it. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good episode. I forgot like all about it. I mean, I didn't, but I did. Like I wasn't aware that
You probably don't listen to a whole lot of these.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
And really,
I don't imagine
I
you
actually listen to the Realty Talk ones more than that because we take some of the stuff out for content for my business.
Obviously.
But like this stuff, the odds I re-listen to this is pretty low.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You were
here. Why?
Every once in a while, it might pop up on my phone, and I like maybe I'll listen to like the first few minutes of it, but then or maybe
somebody
I'll screen,
comments and says, "Hey, I like that part." You were like, "Well, let me go back and listen to."
maybe
that.
yeah. And if somebody references something, oh my god, I remember you talking about that. I'm like, I usually have a good memory of it. Somebody brings it up, I'm like, yeah, I do remember talking about that part of it, but. So one of it is the voice. The other thing too is when I have people put the headphones on. I mean, you're used to it. Do you wear headphones?
Yeah, I do now. I didn't before, but now it's
But it makes a difference.
Big difference.
And for me, obviously, I can hear my voice going in my head, but now it doesn't feel like I have headphones on.
Mm-hmm.
It feels way weird, way weirder.
Way weirder. I like way weirder better.
Way weirder. It was almost like what I say. I said some dumb thing before we were doing the coffee.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, you went along with it. You said it was good. But it was like if I take these off, it's more weirder than if I put them on.
Even more weird.
Even more weird. Yeah. So if my English is very poor,
Yeah.
but
You're not from this country?
unfortunately, well, I should say, fortunately, I am, but unfortunately for my speaking, that I wish I didn't have to say that.
You don't have that excuse.
If you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I wish I could say I could speak better and say that this is my second language, but it's not.
You're doing great.
Yeah, I'm making it. We're stumbling through this, but it's the idea that now I'm more comfortable with everything, and really, I just find this is like you and I talking.
Right.
We just happen to have mics, and the sound's way clearer in our head, and then it gets put out.
Yeah.
But it takes a while for people to get over that. So like when you're in the booth talking or wherever at the table talking, did you have that when you first started as like?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why I asked you the question. Like, have you ever called a radio station before? Because you get butterflies in your stomach. You're about to be live on. They can hear you as soon as you start talking. You know what I mean? Like everything's live. You can't go back and edit it. That's the hardest part, and realizing that. But it's also the most freeing, because going back and listening and editing yourself. I mean, you might have to start over because you don't like it.
Yeah, well, that's something too. And again, I always tell people, because I'm very, very big on social media and pictures and video, and
You're huge.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I've heard myself talk so much that I almost find when I'm editing that I'm just like a normal, like I would watch another person.
Right.
Even though I know it's me, I know it's my voice, but I've seen it so much that I'm like, well, that's Gaelan. Like, I can almost just like go through, and it doesn't affect me that I'm listening to my voice. But the other thing too is I don't overanalyze myself. So one of my things is I just put stuff out, and I'm very big on like I'm just gonna
smart. Otherwise, you will overanalyze.
Yeah, and I don't care. Like I don't care. I look a little bit light. Can I hear it and can I see it? Like and I don't overthink it. It basically is it. Like if I look at it, I'm like, man, that's just really dark. You can barely see me. Then I might redo it, or if I can't hear my voice. But you can ask any of the people that work here. The odds that I redo a video are very slim.
I believe that.
It's usually first take.
You don't have time for that shit.
No, and we went down the other day. We're doing a like a client appreciation event. So we went and did a promo video at the site. Literally went out. We were done within 3 minutes. Like got out of the car, went over, walked over, set up. Like kind of cool. We in a good spot.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks good. Okay, ready? Boom. First take done. In the car, out. And part of it is time. I just don't have the time. I don't want to overthink it. I'm big on just fast, like speed.
Right.
And my thing too is
sexually fast. You gotta be fast.
Oh, I'm a solid.
Come on, we got to get it done. I got shit to do.
Solid 3 seconds, 4 seconds.
Congratulations.
Yeah, just one of those like jackrabbit.
That's embarrassing.
But if now I definitely don't put that on my resume as one of my highlights. One of my positives. But no, if seriously, if you overthink stuff, don't tell yourself no. Meaning like let other people say if it's good or bad, and
fix that
critique and take it however you want. Maybe you want to change, maybe you don't, but don't be the one that says your stuff's bad.
Yeah, don't give them the opportunity not to help you.
Well, don't. I mean, but people will overthink stuff and not even put it out, and not even get to the point where they can let people judge it.
That's where I'm at right now. I know that I have some talent. I know I have a voice.
Do you find that you filter yourself too quickly?
Yeah, very much so. Very, very much so.
Like you have stuff to give, but you judge yourself before you let other people even hear it.
Yeah, I mean you nailed it. Because, all right, like I was saying with depression, you know what I mean. The way I look at myself has not been very high. You know what I mean. I sat back and took like an assessment. I was critical of myself, and I went over. Who am I? Like, am I the person that I say I am? Do I have the heart? Do I have there's so many pros and cons. My con is just being an asshole to myself. That's my con. I'm not a bad person. I got to stop looking down on myself. I got to stop doubting myself. Self-deprecation is very difficult. You know what I mean? That's something that hopefully you never will have to deal with. There's a lot of people out there that do, and I'm trying to let them know that they're not alone. I'm going to say that over and over again. You're not by yourself. We all deal with it. I'm just trying to understand that what I have to offer, what I have to bring is legit. Not everything I say is garbage. You know what I mean? And it's hard to understand that when your mind is not where it should be. It's very difficult to come out of. So, and today was a big day for me. I woke up, feeling good. Like I said, I was excited about being on your show. And today just moved. I got to bring some excitement to some people.
What do you think? Like, what do you think would cause one or the other? Because I'm sure you've thought about this all the time. I wouldn't say all the time, but I'm sure you've multiple times or many times you've thought about this. Like, when you have like really good days for yourself, like what's part of that good day? Like what I guess what events or what thoughts or what actions or what makes up a good day for you?
Just being positive. Like a bad day, it would be me like finding any reason not to get something done. You know what I mean? Like if something is the least bit inconvenient, right? Well, that ruins your whole day, and you're like, well, I guess I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. Today, I'm just gonna lock myself away from everybody, stay in my pajamas, you know what I mean, and lay in bed and watch TV or play a video game or something like that. And that can go on for a couple days, man. I mean, of course, you get up, you use the bathroom, you shower, but other than that, you're secluded. You seclude yourself so you don't infect other people with your emotions, your feelings, your sadness. You don't want other people to feel the way you do, feel that you want to build them up. So that's why I do it. I lock my way so I don't infect other people.
Do you have a pretty good social circle of friends?
Huge.
Yeah, and I mean they're all pretty positive, or people that you would want to hang out with?
For the most part, everybody's positive. Like, I mean, your friends have their ups and downs. You get close to people. Now, if I stopped hanging out with anybody and didn't say anything, yeah, people might message me every once in a while, but I can go a long time without anybody noticing I'm gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Well, because I mean, they always, it's kind of one where like I know there's a saying like you're basically the product of the 5 closest people to you. Mm-hmm. But I always find like I did this a few years back, and not in a bad way. It's just your interests change and your priorities change, and what happens is you align with different people. And it's not that I don't like people that were in my my life prior. A lot of those people I still love very much. It's just I don't see them as much. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times I don't see them as much is because the things I want to do and the things I want to accomplish aren't maybe in line with the same things they want to do, or maybe they've changed a little bit in ways that I don't want to deal with or associate with or whatever. Right. And it's not to say they're bad people. Just you almost got to like audit your friends a little bit. And there's times like I'm like, why is this person in my life? They're negative. And I find right now, luckily, I'm in a very good spot right now where most of the people that I'm with on a day-to-day basis are extremely positive people.
Right.
And that brings out the best in me because I'm one where I like that. But like today, I went to lunch with a girlfriend of mine that's, she's great. She's a super positive person. That's why I go to breakfast with her. Yesterday, I went nice, really great guy that I went to breakfast with, and it's just for me, it's aligning with people that I seek out people that bring me up, and I seek out people that are positive, and I seek out people that if things are negative, they have a positive outlook on it. And the other thing for you too is, do you find, because I do this a lot, I'm very long term, but I'm very like step by step. Meaning I'm very fast. Like I do stuff quickly. Right. I mean, I talk quickly. I put stuff out quickly. I want to make sure everything's done fast. But my long term is like, it's so slow, marathon. And I don't, when I talk about don't beating myself up, like if I had a bad morning, bad afternoon, I had once this morning, perfect example.
All right.
Perfect example. I'll give you exactly what happened. I set my alarm for, basically I wanted to wake up roughly about 5:15, somewhere in that range. I was going to get up. I was going to do my stretching. I've been stretching a lot every day.
Do that.
It's so great.
Can you put your foot behind your head?
Not yet, Ellie. Not yet, Ellie.
Ellie, yeah. When you do that, I need some
photo proof.
I would love to be there. That'd be hilarious.
Well, this is my goal. I was supposed to wake up between 5 and 5:15. I wasn't going to the gym today. I usually don't go on Thursdays just because I'm beat up from the week. And
I don't go on Thursdays either.
There you go. I'm getting a little older, so good day to take a day off. So I was going to wake up. I was going to do some stretching. I was going to write my I'm a couple days behind in my kids' journals. I journal every day for my kids.
That's cool.
Yeah, they don't have a memory right now. Right. So to me, I'm giving them basically it's my way of giving them a memory back for the years they won't be able to experience or they can look back on. Yeah,
I enjoy that very much.
So then I end up I wanted to journal. I usually do it at night. My wife will text me their day if I don't see them or the times I'm not with them. She'll give me an update and I haven't. My son's almost 2 years old. I've literally wrote in his journal over 500 times.
Wow.
Every single day. And I was going to journal. I was going to make breakfast. I was going to shower, and I was going to go to my morning meeting, the one you were at a couple weeks ago, at 7 a.m. And then from there, I was going to come here and have my meeting with Nicole at 9 o'clock. That was my plan.
Right.
This was my morning. I woke up about 5:30. I ended up sleeping in till 6:30.
So you woke up, you just stayed in bed.
I just stayed in bed for an hour. Yeah. And it wasn't, and really my justification was I've averaged probably 6 hours of sleep for 4 nights in a row. And I just was like,
I deserve this.
Yeah, it was kind of one where I'm like, I'm kind of tired. I'm just going to take another hour. And then I looked at it. Well, I can push my stretching till tonight. I'll stretch tonight before I go to bed. I'll push my journaling with the kids till tonight.
Right.
And I have food here that I save here because I'm trying to watch what I eat. And I say watch what I eat, but have food available so I'm not eating or eating crap.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I have enough food. I'll just eat at the office when I had the meeting with Nicole. And so I took a shower, kind of not really procrastinated, but semi-procrastinated. All of a sudden, walked out. Was supposed to be at that thing by 7:15. I didn't leave the house till 7:15. I literally drove to where we meet. At 7:20, it would have been roughly about 5 to 10 minutes late, and I said, fuck it, and I drove to the office.
Nice.
Literally, I could have been 10 minutes late. Would have been a big deal. Could have showed up.
Nobody would have said shit to you.
No, would have been fine. Someone might have been, well, nice to see you late or something like that. Which
glad you showed up.
Yeah, exactly. Which doesn't bother me at all. But it literally was one of those deals where I was just like, I should be there. Fuck it, I'm not going to. So I came to the office, did some work. And the first thing that I did really on time today was had my meeting with Nicole at 9.
Right.
But that morning didn't go according to plan. And I was a little upset where I'm like, I should have got up. I should have got all that stuff done. Yeah. Instead of waiting, now I have to do it when I get home tonight.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I was over it by the time I got to the office.
Which is good.
So
imagine that happening, but all day long, you're saying fuck it. All week long, days go by where you're like, I'm going to wake up at... You can't imagine this probably right now, but imagine waking up at 9 or 10. You know what I mean? Still feeling like crap just because. So, I feel you. I like where your head's at. I want to learn some shit from you.
I think one of the things that, what I'm saying is that whole story, the whole point of the story was that I got to the office 7:35, say. I'm just picking a kind of about roundabout number, 7:35. By 7:35, all these stuff that I didn't do in the first hour and a half to 2 hours of my day that I wanted to do was over. It didn't happen. I didn't beat myself up over it.
That's good.
But my thought was, I did it when I got here. It was, okay, my morning didn't go the way I intended it to go. I literally have this dialogue in my head. I can get pissed at myself for the hour and a half to 2 hours that I probably didn't do what I wanted to do.
You'll never get it back.
But I'll never get it back. So why dwell on it? It's just wasting my time now because it's just stuff I can't change. So.
And then you dwelling on it's taking up more time.
Exactly. So what can I change? Okay. I made a quick to-do list. I have an hour and 20 minutes before I have to meet with Nicole. I'm going to get all these things done prior to going to meet with Nicole. And I got through 4 of the 7 items.
That's awesome.
And really, I knew I wasn't going to get through all 7, but I was diligent for an hour and 20 minutes. I was like, you know what? I can make a negative morning, but a morning that I didn't execute as well as I had planned to now I'm going to execute the next hour and 20 minutes. And I broke it down to a very small the way I look at it is that's a small win for me.
Okay.
I took a loss.
That'd be a huge win for me.
Yeah,
So you know.
but so I look at it as the morning was a semi loss for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge loss. It was a semi loss. It wasn't go as according to plan. But I came here and I said, you know what? I'm going to have an hour win where I'm just going to, and it could be a minute win. It could be a 2-second win. It could be a phone call. It could be a conversation.
It's
it could
still
be
a
just
W.
It's still a W. And I always look at it as WWW, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I got an L. I want another 5 or 6 W's, then an L, and then and you're always going to have an L. I mean, there's always going to be an L.
What's your win-loss percentage? You got to get that up.
Yeah, and to me, and even if you might look at your life and say, you know what, I am a 30%, or I'm batting 300, or I have a 300 game win percentage.
Right.
And maybe that's not good. Maybe that's last in the league kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, next year, or even next week, or even tomorrow,
Yeah.
or even for you, if you're like, hey,
Tomorrow sounds good.
but you might even say like tomorrow sounds good, but then what happens if maybe next hour sounds good?
Yeah, it does. Today sounded great. And
And it's just, but this is always stuff I always like for me. And again, I'm not gonna. This is stuff that people have to do. Again, we talked about before, like giving advice or tips, or maybe what works for me. Maybe hopefully it will help you. But
I'll take what applies to me and definitely run with it.
And for me, I look at it as. Well, another example when I talked about being in the slump with working out and stuff. I went 9 weeks without working out. Well, 5 weeks ago, I said, "Fuck it, I don't like where I'm at right now. I'm going to change it." That was on like a Friday or a Saturday. Monday, I was at the gym at 5:30 in the morning, working out, and I've done it every day. But I take like 1 or 2 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week. I'm there, and the other days I'm up early. And I started that middle of October. I didn't wait to, like, for me, I'm saying, like, I didn't wait to January 1st to start that.
Right. Well,
like, I was just like,
that's not going to work for most people.
Well, and some people are like, I'm going to wait. Like, but I want to use the analogy of people waiting to make the New Year's resolution in October, November.
Right.
To me, it's the procrastination. It's like, just do it. Like, all you're doing is you're just basically, you're giving yourself an excuse to take an extra month or 2 months or whatever. And for you, maybe you're like you said, tomorrow sounds great.
Right.
But maybe you could force yourself to say, well, not tomorrow. You know what? I'm going to make this maybe I'm just going to make tonight good, or I'm going to make this afternoon good.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
100%. Now, if it was that easy for people, that suffer from depression, there wouldn't be no such thing.
Yeah. And that's the thing I don't. So for me, I always look at it as it can't be that easy because people really struggle with that.
Yeah. And you notice that it's, it's with a lot of people. Like it amazes me as much as it amazes you that people can do the opposite. You know that I'm amazed that people can not procrastinate. That can get up and make lists and get stuff done. Now, I've done that in the past, but to the level that you have it is pretty good. You know what I mean? So take that into account and feel good about it. Keep that going. Spread that type of stuff. Because I don't want to be the type of guy that waits the last minute for everything. It's worked, my entire, like I bring good shit to the table. But
do you find that you could, like anything else, like I've said, working out or whatever, like you working out builds your, your muscles or whatever. Do you find that if you were to take, like one push-up is not going to make you really good shape.
Right.
It's going to be 2 push-ups and 3 push-ups and
but
squatting.
That one push-up, that's the start. And what is hard is starting.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like for you, instead of looking at, do you think that you may look at the day in too big of a cycle? Meaning you look at the day or the week or the month or the year as it's an because this happens all the time with people with goals.
Right.
The people in my office, I challenged all the people. I said, and some are good. They're not. Nobody's done it since.
Right.
I wanted them to post one time on social media, Monday through Friday, one post a day, just one. I got to check, but I mean, I've posted probably 2 or 3 things I'll post on LinkedIn. Before you leave, we'll get a photo, or LinkedIn. We'll get a photo. We'll post on Instagram and LinkedIn and stuff. And
sounds great.
But that would.
I got to do more myself. You know what I mean?
But that's going to be number 3 or 4 on the day for me.
Yeah.
So my thing was I challenged everybody in the office to come up with one. And it was funny. I think Ellie was the one that said it. She sent an email and said, "You know what? I'm going to post 5 times a week." And I said, "Ellie," I said, "right there, you've already taken my one a day to 5 a week. Now that 5 a week seems overwhelming."
Yeah, or it will.
Yeah. So for now, I said 1 a day. Like today's a new day. You're going to do 1. All you got to do is 1.
That's
like
it.
You either do it or you don't. I'm not looking for 2. Like 1, you do it. One or you do it or you don't. And basically what I was saying is, don't make the goal too big where it overwhelms you. So for you, do you find that, do you look at things maybe in too big of a cycle where maybe you look at one win's all you need and you want to focus on just getting a win? And the win could be for you, maybe not hitting the snooze button. It doesn't mean you have to go out and see people. Maybe for you, it's like, instead of rolling in bed till 10, maybe I get up and I take a shower or make breakfast, or you just, but it's a very, maybe it's you get up and you make your bed, and that's the small win.
Dude, that's, and you know, it's funny because I've actually told people that, and that is a small thing, and I do that now. You know, that's a big deal, especially being a single guy. You know, living without a girl for a while. You know, they help do a lot of the stuff around there. They need to be appreciated for such when they are. But yeah, so get out of bed, you just, you know, hop in the shower, you leave the bed the way it is, but you getting up and making it, that helps wake you up, helps get you started on, hey, I got that done. It's that small little gesture can definitely impact your entire day. So I wanted to tell you, like you talked about snooze button. Yeah. I just downloaded this app, this alarm app.
What is it?
Alarm.
We're going to talk about
You have to do you have to do 3 math questions to disarm it. Yeah, so
that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, in order to disarm shut it off, you have to do 3 math questions.
Did I talk to you about sleep cycle yet?
You did at the. Yeah.
You got to download that.
I will. I'll definitely do that.
I'm like that's made a huge difference for me in not feeling groggy when I wake up. So I think it's very beneficial if you can do that. No, I think that, okay. So to go into a different topic here.
Well, just so you know,
keep going.
I'm headed in the right direction right now. Yeah. Like all this depression stuff has been going on off and on for like 20 years, bro. You know, and I've gotten a lot done in the meantime. But when the downs are down, they're low. You know, the highs are high. You know, I'm feeling good. I want to infect everybody with the highs and stay away from people with the lows. I don't know how healthy that is. You know, because you need people. Like I do. Some people don't. You know, but I enjoy interaction. Are
you better talking about it or no? Do you find that discussion helps you, or do you find that sometimes?
I think it does help. Like I've never done it before. Nobody knows. That people were going to be surprised to find out that, you know.
Oh, so this isn't like a known thing.
No.
No shit.
I'm putting it out first on your show.
Oh God, I thought this was like people knew all about this.
No, I don't really talk about it. Bro.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know if you saw somebody, therapist or anything.
No, you are my therapist today.
There you go.
I'm actually just trying to let people know, because a lot of people don't know where I've been, what I've been going through. I've taken myself out of, like, you know, people's eye. But in order to do my job, in order to be what I need to be right back in the eyes of the people, the hearts of people, because they're in mine. You know what I mean? I want to build up businesses, use my voice, because I want, like, my end goal is a voice for Pixar or a Disney movie or a video game. You know, be like the evil villain or something like that in a video game. I would love that. I'll feel like, all right, I reached that goal. Congratulations. When people tell me that they read something in my voice, dude, that's a good feeling. Do
you? Because this is something that I do in business. Anything that I put out, like all the footage and video and stuff like that. The one thing that I really try to focus on when I'm doing any of those videos is that if you were to watch me in a video and then you were to see me anywhere, on the street, at an event, I would be the same person.
Right.
And the one thing I don't want to, like, put on as a front, meaning when I get up, like, the one thing I like about doing one take is I'm going to fuck up something, and you're going to see me fuck up, and guess what? You're just going to see me roll with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't want it to be polished. I don't want it to look nice. I don't want it. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be real, relatable. And I think that what I'm able to do with that is allows people to really see me in my like true light.
Yeah.
But I'm vulnerable, meaning I'm making mistakes. I know I speak too fast. I know I have a hard time pronouncing some words, and my vocabulary is definitely not great.
Right.
But it's me. It's my thing. My thoughts are my thoughts. I put them out there. Again, I put my thoughts out there that are what I truly believe with the right intent. So for me, if I say something that pisses somebody off, well, that's fine. It's my thought. I did it with an intent not to hurt somebody or whatever. But I find for you, like, by putting yourself out there and telling people, like, listen, this is something I struggle with, or this is something that I have anxiety over, or I'm self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
I find that by doing that, it frees you up,
right?
Because it gets it out into the open.
I'm kind of using your show to do that.
I love it. I fucking love it because I love it because but it allows you to be free and not keep secrets or keep anything inside that might keep you inside. Like it's like anything else. Like if you're guilty about something and you get it off your chest, it's the same exact feeling. So to me, if you get it off your chest, like me when I talk on on video and stuff, me just saying stuff out gets it off. Like I have nothing to hide and nothing's like weighing me down or make me overthink or making me like, oh my God, I have this deep, dark secret that no, I feel very free and open. But I think by you doing this, what you're going to find is going to give you more.
I already feel better, bro.
Yeah. Like more of a or was it, you know what I'm talking about? Like freedom.
Yeah. Liberating.
Yeah. Liberating. That's the word. Thank you. Liberating. And you now can just kind of have I don't give a fuck. Like it's out there. This is something. And the other thing too, is what you're going to find is that good people that actually give a shit and people that care, or
those are the only people I care about.
Well, and that's but what you're going to find is they're going to be attracted to that,
Good.
And not look at that as like, oh my God, this guy as a weakness or a vulnerability.
Dude, you know what's funny? Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
so I made a video not too long ago because my Facebook got hacked. I lost 3,000 friends, 3,000 people gone. Okay, so I made a video after about a month or so because at first that shit sucked. Just losing all those people, you lost your identity on social media. You know, which is kind of a big shit nowadays, big deal. But so at first I was devastated, all crazy, like, oh God, now who am I, blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, oh, this is nice. Nobody can get a hold of me. I don't have other people's drama to worry about. I get to figure out myself, which I took the time to do so. But so I made a video putting myself out there saying, hey, I miss you guys. This is what happened. A lot of people were messaging me thinking I blocked them. They were like, why'd you block me? I was like, I would never do that. But so I had to rebuild. So I sent a video out there for people to share. This video went all the way to like Albany. And I got some guy, random dude in Albany was like, so I saw your video. I want to tell you it inspired me. It made me feel better about, being there and in touch with my emotions. I got no problem being in touch with mine. It doesn't make me less of a man, like toxic type masculinity. I mean, try to take my man card. I sound great. Come on, baby.
Very Berry.
Take my man card. I dare you. But so it went all the way out there. He congratulated me. He was like, "Don't worry about what people say," because apparently people were talking, about how emotional and how I came off as kind of weak because of the fact that I was like, "Hey, I miss you. I need you in my lives. Take me back, type. Be in my life. I didn't let you go. I just got hacked." But they took that as a sign of weakness. I just made fun of it, and I didn't care. Like this guy that reached out to me was like, it definitely changed I appreciate that. And I've had other occurrences where a guy told me some video I put out there gave him the courage to propose to his wife,
No shit.
Yeah, dude, that's a good feeling. So what I need to do is like I'm doing right now. This is my jump off point, just so you know.
Oh, cool, awesome.
Yeah, I need to put more stuff out there. Like you told your people, one a day. Well, that maybe should be my goal. One little video where I talk to people, let them know what's on my mind.
Don't overwhelm yourself. One.
Dude, one's overwhelming enough right now, but soon it won't be. Soon it won't be. And the more I say, somebody's going to relate to somebody.
It's training that muscle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is smart.
Yeah, no, that's I didn't realize that. I'm proud of you.
I'm doing
good
it
for you.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Yeah, good shit.
That's probably why I was excited this morning. I was like, I get to talk about it.
Good. Yeah.
You
messaged me last week about it.
I did.
So I thought it was something that people knew about.
No. Nobody. Some people, like people real close to me, have seen me go through it. They've seen my
something was up,
change.
kind of deal. Yeah.
Because I'm usually like I'm bring the enjoyment. I'm the life of the party type guy. I want everybody smiling. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that makes me happy. So when I can't do that because of where my head's at, then I choose not to be around people because I don't want to bring them down.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it difficult. That's why people haven't seen me a lot lately, but I'm about to change. I'm about to come out of that. I feel real good about where I'm at right now. And I just want to bring people on this emotional roller coaster that's going like in a good direction, make them happy too.
I think you're going to attract more positive people, and that's going to help you.
That's good.
I was going to say, because like I said, there's a big power to community, and that's, like I said, I think whether you go to church or whether you do, like I said, you have friends or whatever, I think it's huge.
Yeah.
It's a question for you. How long you had the beard?
Well, this is my first actual beard, to be honest. Probably a couple of years, you know what I mean? Like just the beginning of last year, I think it was not much longer than yours. So
really?
Yeah.
I
got it trimmed up. A girl named Natasha Wells. She hooked it up. I don't know if you know Natasha.
She keeps it tapered and looking good.
Oh yeah, she did it for me. She hooked it up real good. So if you get a chance, go check out Natasha.
Where's she work?
Man, I can't remember the name, because she did it for me as a friend. But I'll check out which company she works for. I'll tell you in a second.
No, you're good. Yeah. So the reason being is I ended up. Oh God. Well, this is funny. Good segue.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 years ago, maybe. Yeah, about 3 years ago. 3.5 years ago, I grew a beard out. About that.
Close to this?
I'll show you a photo.
Oh, dude, let me see.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
That's
thick.
amazing.
Thick.
That beard was thick, baby. Oh man, let me see it. Was it like?
Problem is, I'm getting a little close to. What was that?
No, your beard now. Oh, by the way, Natasha works at Sassy Images.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to get your beard cut up, go to Sassy Images. See Natasha. She'll hook you up.
Let me see.
Yeah, take your time. Dead air is always good for radio.
That's well, it just lets people just get that.
Get yourself
really,
a drink.
Really feel.
You got to use the
to
bathroom.
figure out where
Now's
the heck,
the time to do it.
I'm trying to figure out where the heck I'm. Oh, that's why, because I'm in the wrong. Jeez. Wrong account.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, man,
how many pictures do you have of yourself?
My foot's falling. I actually don't. It's now mostly my kids.
Your foot fell asleep?
Yeah, I gotta get
That's
down.
amazing.
I gotta get down. Here we go.
Wow, bro.
So legit. It was.
You ain't kidding, man.
No, I had it down. I don't know if it was.
That's on your Instagram?
Yeah, but like I'm wearing the same shirt, so you
Yo.
can see with just like the V-neck of the shirt, the difference.
That's amazing.
Because I could put my hand like this and I could wrap it around my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like it was substantial. And the thing was, when I had it, which is crazy. So I mean, the amount of
it doesn't even look real.
No, but the amount of effort. What people don't realize, do you put like beard balm and beard oil?
Yeah, I put lotion and oil and
because you have to. And people are always like, "Oh man, their beards." I'm like, the beard's gross or whatever. Like, no, like my beard was at the time like the most maintained thing. Because like, I mean, you got like your hair and stuff.
Well, I'm a bald guy, so this is the only hair I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
So we got. Have you seen Merritt works here?
Yeah. I've seen this picture. Well, no, I've seen this picture on your.
Well, he's in Completely Stranded.
I bet I know Merritt.
Yeah. So he looks just like you. Got the big beard, bald head.
Well, he's prettier.
Yeah, he's a beautiful man. Beautiful bald guy, big beard. But
he's right next to you on your.
Yes, yeah.
Next to you.
Yeah. So good thing I know my beard because he put me to shame. But
yeah, he would.
But it was the idea that yesterday I went and got my hair cut, and I'm going to grow my beard out for the winter. Not like that. It's a little more full than what it is now. I'm going to kind of let it get just for warmth, functional.
It's November, 'tis the season.
Yeah, and then I'm going to also grow my hair out. So my hair, I usually keep it
pretty, like a lion's mane.
A little bit, yeah. Like so, I usually on the side about 4 or 5 years ago, I kind of grew my hair out a little bit, not like down to my shoulders, but enough where I could kind of pull it back a little bit. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to grow my hair out a little bit. No reason, just why not? So I usually keep it pretty tight in the side and I kind of a little bit longer on top, but nothing. I mean, shorter than this, same kind of style, but shorter. So yeah, that was actually yesterday was my decision. I'm like, I'm going to make it, crop it around a little bit.
There you go.
So
try something a little different for this time of year.
Yeah, more for winter. Just kind of get into the winter times where it's a little more, you're inside. You don't need it it's not as hot. It's cold, so it's like you can have a little bit longer hair and beard.
I'll probably keep it like close to this length for a couple of years.
Yeah, no, it looks good. I mean, thanks, it's thick and it's full. It's a full beard.
Yeah, people are jealous. They're like, man, I wish I can grow a beard like you. I'm like,
no, it's crazy.
Well, yeah, I wish I had your hairline.
Are you?
You know what I'm saying?
Are you Irish or?
No, I'm Polish. Scandinavian type.
They beard growing people, I guess. Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah, I got to go to.
Mine gets real red.
Lithuania, which was pretty nice. You ever been out of the country?
Yeah, I've been to Europe a couple times, not Lithuania.
Lithuania was pretty cool. I went to Vilnius. And I did that for.
Lithuania, where's that near? Like what?
Poland type that area. It's Europe.
It's Eastern Europe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like south of Poland, I think.
What brought you over there?
The Landry Simulation does.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was doing flight simulation.
That must have been a pretty cool gig when they tapped you to that.
It was amazing.
How long did you spend there?
A couple of weeks. Yeah. I mean, they had plans for me to go to Japan, Abu Dhabi.
Really?
They're all over the place.
I'd love to go to Abu Dhabi just because that's like
Dubai.
the biggest up and coming. Yeah,
dude.
that place popped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
At least for me. I mean, that's like last 10 years, it's just like exploded.
Yeah. I mean, they got money. They've been around. They're
must
pretty.
Be a lot of oil out there probably.
I imagine, yeah.
Because I was looking at if you go look at the richest people in the world, if they're not in computer tech kind of thing, like Amazon and Microsoft, it's oil.
Oil, pharmaceuticals.
Still big money. Yeah. Like Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Like Oracle's a very like that guy's like top 5 in the world. Like,
Yeah.
you want to think about it? There's some. It's pretty crazy. Like some of the people. I mean, you obviously have like the Amazons and the Facebooks and things like that. But
I also worked on a oil refinery, so I was in the oil world.
how'd that go? Like what was the day like? What day in the life
I
of
was
an
an
oil
operator.
refinery?
So basically, you go and try to make sure the shit doesn't get blown up. All right.
And where were you?
This was in Yorktown, Virginia.
Okay.
It was Amoco BP refinery, Western. But anyway, they would bring in crude oil, and we would take it through different parts of the refinery and strip it down and make it, usable. So different parts of the refinery did different things. But by the time it was done, you were giving out like you were putting out oil, putting out different octane gasoline. We had some clear stuff back in the day that it was almost like the Pepsi Crystal or whatever it was called. Remember the clear Pepsi? But it was like,
oh yes,
yeah,
oh god, yeah.
ethanol free.
Well,
like
you're really bringing it back.
Yeah, we had. Well, it was like gasoline, but like that. yeah. I don't know why they did it, but I guess it was cool. But there was a bunch of different types, of gasoline that you were done by the end of it. But our goal was to make sure that everything's flowing in the right direction. If you got to make sure this whole place doesn't blow up. It's pretty volatile, especially being on land near a city. So anything can go wrong, and your job was to make sure that you shut off flows to problem areas if they happen.
When did you do this? Before the gambling? Or
Yeah,
gambling,
Yep.
dealing?
Before dealing poker,
Yeah, that's cool. So you were pretty young then. So
Yep, pretty young.
probably high schoolish.
Maybe like 20, 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was like 15 years ago. I've done a lot of different jobs, brother.
How many jobs do you think you've done?
Shoot. I'd probably say 15, give or take. It's probably more than
So like
that.
right now, job is radio.
Right now, job is radio. It's being on the radio, personality, and advertising, and helping locals build their business.
And do you still DJ too? Like
Not anymore. I do have people can.
The 1 to 3 is still the DJ time, right?
That's the time I'm an on-air personality. But I also used to DJ parties, bar mitzvahs, weddings, and stuff like that. I was that kind of DJ.
You must have killed it on the mic then.
It wasn't too bad. That's one of the things that got me, that was hard. That's just a couple, 50, 100 people that you're doing it in front of, and that's nerve-wracking.
Mm-hmm.
But that helped me get to where I am now.
One of the most nervous I was for, it was funny because public speaking is hard for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And trust me, I was the same. I ended up taking intro to public speaking in college for the pure, and I'm a weird kid. I was a weird kid. I literally took intro to public speaking in college because I knew it was a weakness of mine.
Okay.
And I really did it just literally to get over a fear of public speaking. And it wasn't like I had a fear, but I was uncomfortable with it.
Right. A lot of people, man.
Yeah.
I was too.
Yeah. So I went to do public speaking, and one of my rules, and I did this in high school too, because it was the same thing. I was, nobody likes giving a speech in high school because you're at the age where, your self-esteem's lower than you normally would for most people. So I hate to do public speaking. Well,
I was homeschooled.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So, but
sorry to interrupt.
So I went to a public school. So typically, if you're in front of like 20 kids. But basically, what happened was I would always volunteer to go first.
You get it out of the way.
Two ways. I got it out of the way. Number one, I had nobody to compare it to.
Right.
So my thing was not good or bad. It was just he was the first guy to go. And so when I went to college, same thing. I took intro to public speaking because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a full class to really get good at public speaking. And I always found people that were good speakers, whether they be presidents or whether they be like leaders of something or even captains of teams. They always had they were good speakers, charismatic, something like that. Now I don't consider myself currently a good public speaker. I don't think I'm very good with words. I don't think I'm very concise. I think I ramble too much. But when I was speaking, it wasn't like intro to public speaking made me really good at public speaking. I remember I coached soccer for 8 years. Well, every year I had to give a speech at the banquet. So you get up there and you speak in front of however many people, probably 100 to 200. Oh, you have all the kids, so you're probably talking 200 people. Yeah. And you're doing a speech in front of all of them. Well, that was always like nerve wracking, but I always kind of had in the back of my head like I'm good at this. Like I always kind of like it was like the self talk. Like I got this. Like I got this.
It's gonna be fine.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was probably like, if you were to tape me, you'd be like, yeah, you sounded fine. But I was probably like shaking inside.
Right.
But I got over that. And now I'm with people so much. And I almost find that, again, coming from the empathy portion of it, I know when other people feel uncomfortable. And I try, and one that gives me a little boost of confidence, meaning like I'm not the only person. So like I feel like that gives me a little confidence to know that they also feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But it also allows me too to kind of give back, but make them less uncomfortable,
Right, like
or more
less
comfortable.
nervous, less anxious.
Yeah, like if I can sense somebody's like uncomfortable with the situation, and a lot of times from now that's like a networking thing. Go to networking, the newer person's there and they're kind of quiet and shy, and it's like, okay, well, don't just walk by them, like say hi to them, like hey, what do you do? Like
you doing? Nice
get them
to meet
talking, because they just want to have. They're probably a phenomenal person. They just want to have like they have that icebreaker,
Right.
And
So you help them break the ice.
I try to. I bring the
that's good.
pickaxe and just start chiseling away.
That's how I met so many people. Just shot it out there. You know what I mean? Just,
Are you one that would just roll up and start a conversation?
so I used to fuck with people. I'd be like, "What the fuck are you looking at? You got a problem?" You know, just kind of yell at them for no reason.
Big guy with a beard, yeah. I mean,
Big
not
guy
scary.
with a beard. My voice is like, "Hey, what's your problem,
No,
man?
it's not scary at all.
You want to go?" They're like, "No, I don't have a problem." I'm like, "Well, me neither. Let's have a drink." You know what I mean? I wouldn't keep it going. Then you're just an asshole. But I want to be like, that's something people remember. Well, a quick shock to the system, like I'm about to get in a fight for no reason.
Slap in the face.
Yeah. So I met a lot of people that way. A lot of people have similar stories to that. But I would just walk into a group of people. There'd be like a random group of 20 people I've never seen before. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's Bullfrog. Nice to meet you." And it messes with them.
I think if you open with that line, you're good.
Yeah.
I think that like just my name's Bullfrog, because I've heard you do that before. You did it at we did it at the morning group the other day, but I've seen you before at like an event where you've like walked up and just said.
That's my name now, Bullfrog. You know what I mean?
it.
When I go to Wendy's, they're like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Bullfrog." So that way, my food's ready, they got to be like, "Bullfrog, your order's up." And I just find that amusing. You know,
People must love it, and you go, "Thank you."
Yeah. Like everybody's, it doesn't bother me. At first, I was like, "Oh, should I tell them my name's Bullfrog? Oh, what are they gonna think?" Now I don't care. And now the lady, like at Wendy's, I don't go there often. I've been there probably 3 times, but on the 3rd time I went, she already had my name in there. She was ready. She remembered, and I was like, "That's pretty cool."
So what percentage of people do you always introduce yourself as Bullfrog?
I have recently, the last year or so.
And out of how many people call you Bullfrog versus Jeremiah
Not so many people call me Jeremiah anymore.
or Jerry?
Well, actually, my mom and stuff, my nieces and nephews call me Jay, Uncle Jay, or just Jay. My mom does like to go out and say, "Do you know Bullfrog?" She name drops like a champ. Like,
Shout out, Mom.
Oh yeah. She's like, and people ask her, "You're Bullfrog's mom?" It's kind of cool because she wears Packers stuff, and I'm a Packers fan, so they know. You're Bullfrog's mom, aren't you? So she's get the feeling, and a lot of people are giving me the feeling I'm a local celebrity a little bit, you know? And it's hard for me to deal with because I feel like a normal ass dude. Yeah. You're well known.
I have glimpses of where I feel that way.
Right.
Local celebrity.
Right. And how do you feel about that?
I'm fine.
Me, I'm like, well, why should I be somebody that everybody admires or knows?
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Or like when you go to like something and people know who you are. They don't say it, but they know. It's like me seeing like Tom Messner. Like everybody knows who Tom Messner is,
Right,
but like
yeah.
nobody's gonna like roll up on and be like, "Hey, Tom Messner." Like,
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it.
See, and that's I am becoming that. I think I'm already there, to be honest with you. But at first, there's that feeling of, do I really deserve to be locally famous? The word famous just sounds kind of cocky,
Well, I think if you do it in the right way,
right?
Like I would love everybody to know who I am. Like I have no problem with that. Like I think there's a difference. So I mean, if you do it again through good, I mean, if you're trying to spread good and start trying to do it from a position of helping others and
That's
serving and everything else, and people know you, that's a good reason to know you. You know what I mean?
True.
And the other thing too, it takes hard work to do that. Like. I know a lot of people like nobody knew who I was 5 years ago. Like, no, I mean, very small group of people did. And what happens is as you put yourself out there, which I've done over the last 3, 4, 5 years, and now it's kind of, I call it the snowball effect. Things are compoundly getting bigger, and it's like, wow. Like even today, there was two cool things happened to me today.
Let's talk about them.
I can't. They're both kind of secretive.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, sorry, leave you hanging. But
can we talk about it off after the mics are off? No, we'll just say no.
To be honest, no, because one person actually both things were told
in confidence
to be anonymity.
I'll tell you what.
Did I use that term right?
Anonymous. Anonymity. No, and I respect that because anybody that ever tells me something, that stays there. So
I'm the same.
Yeah, dude. I take pride in the fact
actually,
that,
I usually tell people I'll probably forget before I tell
I
anybody.
will. I will
My memory's
forget.
not that great. So people, and then some. My wife does all the time. Actually, well, I'll tell my story. So 2 things happened today that were really cool that would not have happened even 2 years ago.
All right.
But a lot of it's just all the effort that I'm putting in. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like that's happening or will happen. And like, awesome. Like, and I looked at that as like, that's a win. That's a big win for me today. And it's kind of one, it gives me a little like pep in my step. But my, like when you talk about not telling secrets, like the amount of time people have told me stuff and said, and prefaced or finished the sentence with, do not tell anybody.
Yeah.
As soon as someone says, do not tell anybody, guess what? I'm not telling anybody.
Yeah.
So what will happen is someone will tell me something, my wife will find out about it, and then she'll get mad that I didn't tell her. And I said, well, they told me not to tell anybody. She goes, yeah, but I'm your wife. I'm telling you, like, well,
you're still anybody, right?
Yeah,
now.
To me, you're anybody. Like, I'm just not going to tell anybody because my thing is if that word gets out and they find out, well, you're the only person I told, then guess what? I have no alibi. I mean, I was the one that did it. So well, it's a respect thing too. If somebody tells me they don't want me to spread, like they're saying it to me in confidence that for whatever reason, then I'm not going to tell anybody.
They put that effort, that trust in you.
You've earned it. You've earned the trust.
It.
Yeah.
So why fuck that up? You know, and like I used to mess with people. There'd be like, a few different people. I would tell them all something different. You know what I mean? And wait to see where it goes. Wait to find out. You know what I mean?
It's like the train game.
Yeah. Just kind of feel like, who's there, like testing waters. You know, people could do that with me. I'm not going to run my mouth about people. It's just not necessary.
No. Well, it's a time thing too. It's like, one, I don't have the time.
Right.
Two, I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
Well, I'm
probably going to forget.
But think about this too. Like we talk about if you overthink stuff or worry about stuff, like people have so much stuff going on in their lives that I don't think people have time to do stuff, like to worry about. Like my thing is I just have too much time on like my own plate right now that I don't want your problem or your problems, but like I can't focus on everybody else's life in my life because I have so much going on in my life that I got to take care of.
And that's what I need to start doing. I think that's what I've let happen to me is I'm worried too much about everybody else, but I want to help people.
Yeah, and there's a fine line, and you'll get better at it. I mean, the one good thing I think for you right now is that you're aware of it. Awareness is a big thing.
That's huge.
Yeah, but the fact that you even understand that you have a problem with depression or you have a focus.
We're going to say had. I want to say had.
Good. That's
I'm
good.
going to leave it at that because I feel really good today, and I'm going to keep this thing.
I love it. But you were aware of it. You know what I mean? And then now it's like make a change. And again, I use that on a very much smaller scale. This morning, I was aware that I didn't do what I needed to do.
Right. It is a much smaller scale, but it's amazing.
But it's the awareness of, okay, don't beat yourself up over it. You took a little L. Let's get a W. And that's being aware. So, okay, want to go over what we kind of talked about the other day. How long you been able to figure out one of these? Now, folks, we're holding Rubik's Cubes in our hands.
You like this? I made the Tide Pod colors.
I
know you're familiar. So, I would say...
Oh, actually... I'm really... Okay, keep going.
I'd say probably about 15, 20 years, maybe. I taught myself how to do it. And then I taught like 3 or 4 other people how to do it. Like solve a Rubik's Cube.
To solve one?
Yeah.
And then what... Then so how did you figure it out like originally?
Just played with it, man. Like I was homeschooled, like I said. So my job, I would teach my brother and sister their schoolwork. My mom would help out. But I mean, I would take a big portion of it and help my brother and sister learn their schoolwork. And then when I was done that, I would go, do something that stimulated me. I love puzzles. So just finding out how this thing works, figuring out how to get pieces, seemingly messing up everything, but keeping it intact at the same time. It just amazed me.
So the cool thing, and I guarantee you, I already give you credit because you figured it out yourself. I didn't. I mean, I learned algorithms, how to solve it.
Yeah. Well, see, after I figured it out, I went and figured out the algorithms too. I went and YouTubed algorithms, and it made it so much faster. And then I understood why it does what it does. And but I was solving it before that. It just took me a lot longer. And I was like, wow, this is so much easier. Yeah,
and we both kind of talked about, like, I think I learned how to solve it in 2007.
Okay.
And I remember having one, and I bought it. And I don't know if I bought one and wanted to learn it, or if I just had one lying around the house. I'm like, I just want to figure out how to do this. And now what's actually kind of funny is depending on time and stuff, if I see one of these lying, I go in houses. I mean, it's my job.
Yeah.
If I see one of these lying in a house and I have time to kill or I'm waiting for a client, I'll pick it up, I'll solve it, and put it back.
Too.
And people are always like, wait, they'll like come home and be like, wait, who solved this?
Yeah.
It kind of like freaks them out. But
you ever see The Pursuit of Happiness?
Love it.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel really cool that I could do that now.
Well, that was a big thing. When he solved it, everybody was like, dude, he can solve it.
You're a genius.
And I was like, I could do that too.
I must be a
actually. I remember
genius,
watching
too.
that thing. I'm like, what algorithm is he? Like, how is he spinning this thing? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna mix this up for you. We'll do it afterwards. I do want to say, I don't know when you're ending this thing, and it doesn't matter to me either way. But I want to tell you something real quick.
yes, go ahead.
So I appreciate, you having me on. I
Yes.
appreciate the insight that you had. I love seeing successful people, what they do. Like you surprised me with what you guys were talking about on your other show, your slumps. You know what I mean? Your slumps are the same as mine. Mine just last longer. But I like to see how you treat your different day to day to overcome that. So every time I see you, I'm going to keep bringing positivity to you. I'm going to keep watching what you're doing. I hope other
Yeah, I
people
appreciate
do.
that,
Yeah,
man.
no problem, bro. Like you have my respect. As long as you give it to me, you're going to get it back.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get to know you on another level, see what you do.
Yeah.
And anything I can help you with, I'd be glad to.
Yeah, we'll before you leave tonight, we'll coordinate like breakfast or lunch next week
Sounds
or something.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
sounds
look
great.
forward to that. That'd be fun. No, we can do whatever. I mean, it's probably getting time for dinner anyways. But okay, we can solve this on air.
Do you want to? We
yeah,
could do
fuck
it.
yeah.
We could do it while we talk. So
Yeah, we won't. Competition wise, we'll still kind of keep a conversation going.
Yeah, 'cause otherwise it's
I mean, you can justify this is pretty well mixed up.
Yeah.
I've really been doing it kind of mindless for the last 2 minutes.
right.
I mean, they all look like they were pretty jumbled. So, actually, one of the things the original went there. Now,
Yeah,
now
I
you
mean,
can't cheat. We're gonna mix each other's up.
Yeah, you
So-
got mine. I got yours.
But the idea is when I did this, I always talk to people like the first step. I always learn by I figure out. I go by the top side, figure out the first layer, second
Yeah.
layer, third layer.
That's a good
There
way
you
to
go.
do it.
So then.
No, I'm doing the one you mixed up already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so basically, it's the idea that you have to figure out with a Rubik's cube is if you look at the center side of every single cube,
That's what side that.
that's the side that has to be the side. That center piece is an axis, so it does not actually move. So when people are trying to figure out, I can already tell if you're going to screw up the Rubik's cube because if you're trying to, if the center one is an orange and you're trying to solve it and make that into a blue, it's never going to happen.
Right.
So I guess the cool thing about that is that automatically you can identify what side each one has to be on. So
That's how
now
you
that
start.
was just like an aha moment for somebody, but it's the idea that that's really step one. So like right now, like I always go, is that how you do it? Like I always go with the top side and I always get the top layer
Yeah.
done.
Like there's no side that you have to start from.
No.
Was it weird that I start from white all the time just because of it's easier to see? You know what I mean?
I'm colorblind, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah.
So that makes that real tough.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, it does, but I mean, I can see shades. So it's like, but there's times like the orange and yellows on this really screw me up.
Well,
reds and greens a little bit too.
Yours right here, you can tell you left it in the sun a little bit.
In the sun?
Yeah, like you can see your orange is kind of.
Is it faded?
Yeah, it's faded.
It's probably because it was on my old desk, and now my new desk, it's actually up on my shelf up there. So, you saw the Mega Cube or the X Cube. I got
Dude,
that
that's
from
amazing.
I got that from a client, but to be honest, I'm too much of a like. Say you got the two sides there,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm too much. Like I would never figure that out or take the time to figure it out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it, and hopefully that it just kind of figures itself out.
I wonder
one
if
day.
they hear that noise in the background as twisting these things.
I know. Like I'm actually. Well, we talked about this before. Like a lot of the stuff that we do. I'm literally just. We do it from muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
So really, everything that I know, I love that you're just like, oh, so almost got it.
You're
But-
so close now.
But it's the idea that when this is actually pretty good. I can get it on the first try. There we go. Almost
look at
identical.
That was the same time, bro. Look at that.
That was
was
pretty
like
good.
less than a second
that,
off.
that was pretty good.
Well done,
That,
sir.
well done. Actually, that was a great.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
We should have filmed
we
that.
Could, I know we could. Damn, I remember I told you we said we
Yeah,
should film it.
we
That's all
should've.
good. All right, we'll live in your memory banks. But no, I was actually I got that in the first try.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to take me a couple tries of screwing up a couple, but
Did great. Same
you know-
time. That was less than a second done each other. I'm just saying.
that was
good.
pretty. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, usually I haven't done it in a while, but I usually put it up there and like once a month I might grab it and just do a couple just
Yeah.
to kind of keep it in the fresh a bit. But
I keep this in the office, and I want people to come and just mess it up for me. So when I come in, I'm like, ooh.
yeah,
it's
I know.
messed up. Thanks,
It's kind of like
guys.
my OCD of like, okay,
Yeah.
I got to kind of figure this out.
I'd rather you should tell your coworkers and employees
Yeah.
that when they walk by, mess it up.
don't-
Just turn it, mess it up. So when I come in, I can fix it.
It's like a good like mental stimulus
Yeah.
too every day.
It's weird because messing it up yourself. Yeah, I mean you don't know how to fix it completely.
I mean, when I mess it up, I mess it up.
Right.
Yes.
There's something there's something more satisfying of somebody else.
Oh yeah.
Messing it up for you.
Yeah. I mean, because once it's messed up, you're gonna figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
There's not like you can't like make it harder. I always find funny is when people there might be like 4 blues on the side, like there's too many blues on that one side. I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
it's gonna be like that.
Yeah. It's gonna say process of elimination.
Right.
But
do you like any other kind of puzzles? I'm a Sudoku fan.
So yes. So I was always a puzzle guy.
Me too.
Like growing up.
Tomb Raider.
So wait.
You ever play the video games? Tomb Raider.
Oh, video game. I was gonna say I don't remember a puzzle, but video games. Yeah.
Yeah.
I not
they had puzzles in that.
Not
game.
consistently. Like I've played it, but not like
You weren't much of a gamer, were you?
No, I played like Zelda as a kid
Okay.
and a Mario Kart, but I was more of like sports games guy. I wasn't like a first person. James Bond a little bit, Splinter Cell. I did some of those, but nothing crazy. But like Sudoku. 100%. One of my favorite ones. I like crossword puzzles too. My friends make fun of me. I'm like an old man. I got crossword books down there.
I dig them too.
Yeah. For me, it's a mental thing. I try to keep my mind sharp. But it was called. I don't want to get this screwed up. It's called.
We should have really researched all this, what we were going to talk about beforehand.
We're
all over the place,
off
bro.
the cuff.
Nobody's listening anymore.
It's not Sudoku. God darn it! It's like Sudoku.
On
How do you spell
steroids.
Sudoku?
I believe it's SUDO.
Sudoku.
Sudoku.
No, you're right. You're up. Good call. Yep. Sudoku. Adding.
So it's SUDOKU. That's it.
It's a Sudoku adding game, but it starts with like an R.
I've seen it. I've heard of it.
It is amazing, and I can't think of the name. It's another weird name. It's like Rakudu or something like that.
Yeah. They used to have it in newspapers in some places, I believe.
So, well, I don't know where I found, but I found a book and it was amazing because you had to do math in order to figure out the problem. So it was like Sudoku, but it was Sudoku in the sense that the numbers had to add up.
Yeah.
So you had to put numbers in, so the numbers had to add up to a certain thing. So it wasn't just putting in 1 through 9.
Where they don't match. Yeah.
But the numbers you had to put a 5, but the 5 and this number all had to equal something.
That's crazy.
And it was like a next level up, but it just got you thinking. And it would take me, I could figure them out, but it would take some time. It could take you half hour. But if I'm sitting there like watching TV or listening to TV or listening to the radio or something, and I was just sitting there kind of working on it, like sipping on coffee, doing it. It was just a relaxation thing, mental escapism, whatever you want to call it.
It's good to have those, yeah.
Yeah, like you say,
as long
video
as they're not
games.
distracting, yeah. Mine distract me too much, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to come off of that.
Yeah, you got to find your thing. It could be reading. Some people love reading, you know, and I love reading.
Read.
For me, it's just trying to get time to, like, again, prioritizing the time to do it. But, you know, it's always a work in progress. But
I'm going to start doing audiobooks. I'm going to start reading audiobooks. No, I'm going to start reading, though. I'm going to be the voice for audiobooks.
Voice?
I would love to do
if I ever write a book, I'm going to have you be my
it?
audiobook guy.
That'd be great.
You just be like, this is a Harper Publishing.
By Gaelan Trombley.
Like, yeah, I can't even, because actually some people like read their own books. I actually like it when the authors read their own books.
Yeah, because they got more like life.
Sometimes they'll add like asides to it too. They'll start talking and be like, oh, by the way, and they'll give you a little background. But no, I think anything else you want to mention?
I mean, you know, like I said, I appreciate you having me on. Hopefully people, you know, get anything from this. You know that you're not alone if you're dealing with depression. Learn that depression's real, and, you know, people out there are feeling certain ways. Don't assume that, you know, there's something wrong with them. There is, but just take it easy on them. You know what I mean? Like, help them through it. Like, let them know you're there and you see them. And if they need to talk, be that open thing like you are. You know, somebody that they can talk to. Their business doesn't go out there. They don't have to worry about anything. They've got a lifeline. They got support. You know, because without that, you know, you're dead in the water. See, me, like, what I'm worried about is I need support for my job to work, for me to do something with my voice. Like everyone's told me I need to do. I need to have that type of contributions from everyone that said that. Like, hey, you should do something with your voice. Well, I am. So are you listening now? You know what I mean? Like, in order to do something with this, I need the help and support from people. And, like, that's what makes it difficult. I can't just do this on my own. You know, I have to have people, like, support and share my stuff. And that's just how it works, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm worried about. And are people going to back me up like they said? It's just a big worry there. It's a little too late to get into that now because we've already been on for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But that's just a feeling I have. Like, in order for me to succeed, I do need the help of people that believe that I have something to offer. So that makes it difficult.
Yeah. Well, I mean, stuff that work on too. Like we talked about, but it takes time. Like some people, like I said, it takes time to get to that. But I think it's good. I'm glad you came on. I didn't realize all that, so it's cool.
Nobody did. I'm glad I got to get it out on your show.
Yeah.
You should probably not use any of this. Just scrap it.
That's it. Done. Episode 15. No, I think it was really cool. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. We'll hang out sometime. I'll get your information. We'll do lunch.
And you're good. I like getting people on the show, and if I got a good kind of cadence with them, like we'll probably have you back on it because this was fun. I had a good time.
Anytime, brother.
You got a good voice, but you understand how to like. You're a good conversationalist.
Thank you.
On radio. Some people, I've had some people on here. It's very tough because you got to carry the conversation.
Right.
Like some people just
so those are like 10-minute podcasts.
Sometimes they'll go long, but you got to kind of like.
You're doing most of the talking.
Or you got to get them in a comfort zone. Because I've had some people come on here and they're just like they're very nervous about it, and they think that I'm like.
Well, it's intimidating.
Yeah, it is, and I'm like, just don't worry about it. Like literally, just and every person that has ever felt uncomfortable coming on here literally ends in like. That was great. Like I was so nervous, and you made me feel so comfortable. Like,
good job, man.
We're just talking, man. Like don't overthink it.
Well, it takes a good host to be able to put somebody at ease.
Yeah,
I know a lot of guys around here that do it, like Craig and Wait, and all those guys.
Yeah,
like Trashberg.
Yeah,
I saw you guys on that recently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good podcasts around here.
Yeah, and I think the median is very good. Meaning like the medium.
You all have a different,
what I'm talking about.
Aspect. Yeah, I do know what you're
But the I think people doing podcasts are great. I love like I'm big support your local podcasters. There's a bunch of them out there that are really good, and I think everybody's got their own little flair to it and does a good job with it. And I think it's cool. I think it's a positive thing. Anybody, if you take like I always give Matt Craig shit. He's a good buddy of mine, but. We were joking. We were joking last night. We said Craigcast R.I.P. because he hasn't posted one in a while.
Oh, get it together, dude.
We were giving him crap, but like him, you got like I said, Ryan Lee. I know Matt Waite.
Why wait? Innovate.
And the Trashberg crew, Matt and
a lot
Austin.
of the ones that come out of North Volume Media.
And I know he's got more. Damien's got more there, and I haven't listened to a lot of those. I've listened to. A couple of them, the girls that used to be on there, I knew both of them from Shazy, but
I'll figure out one to do, and I'm sure you'll listen to that one.
Yeah, and I think it's cool. It's just very good that people are out there putting out like their spin on stuff and having a conversation. I think it's cool. It's just you're stripping down a very simple thing, but you're putting it at the forefront and really focusing on it for. However long you want to do a podcast for. And I think it's cool. I think there's just, like you said, some liberation to that where it's just like, it's cool. It's cool just to chat.
We'll get together and do a part 2 of this sometime, like you said.
I'd enjoy that. That'd be fun.
And we got that comic thing that you wanted to do. We'll write a comic skit and make something.
I want to do something. I think there's something there. Like just like a Plattsburgh, like even like a satire, like just something fun.
I love it.
Something that people would look at and be like, "That was well done, like well played."
Let's do that. I want to do that with you.
Get your creative juices flowing.
We can get some people in with us. I bet we can get a bunch of people.
I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be fun. I think the more the better. Just kind of like
the minds that are here. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. Just kind of like a local viral kind of thing.
I love it.
Be kind of fun to do. So cool.
Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome. We're gonna end it there. Episode 57. Jeremiah Bullfrog Benjamin.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Gaelan Trombley Show. If you want to reach me, you can go on Facebook at Gaelan Trombley, on Instagram at Gaelan Trombley, and on YouTube at Gaelan Trombley. The spelling GaelanTrombley.